Go. Yo, fears, audience, fears. Back at it again with another live. I hope my loving and loyal fans are doing good. I hope my loving and loyal fans are doing great. And back at it again with another live. Coffee first in my Stormtrooper or Darth Vader mug, depending on which way you look at it. Coffee first. Yummy. There it is. Well, hope you guys are doing great. Fears is here, and I got to get something off my chest. It's going to be more of a serious talk, and I prepared a bit. So some of this is going to be prepared, some of it's going to be not prepared. So a little bit off the cusp, but not all off the cusp. So yeah. So I'll do my best because some of this I prepared, and then I was like, well, some of it should literally, come from the heart. And I am disabling the chat because I don't feel like talking to anyone right now. I really don't. I just want people to listen. So I've disabled the chat. So yeah. Or I think I have disabled the chat. I finally figured out how to do it before the live. So yeah. Anyway, so again, I've planned some of this, and I've got some updates. And the reason why I'm going so late is I wanted to wait until a certain podcast was done, and then I wanted to get a little rest in because I haven't decided if I'm going to go to work tonight or not. So we'll see. It depends on my mood. I may take the night off because the last few days, probably last weekend was ruined, and we all know why. Or many people don't. I'll be sure to fill them in. I didn't get much sleep the last Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I really didn't because now technically it's Monday. So I'll fill you guys in. So I may just stay home tonight because I've gotten sleep here and there, but not much. Excuse me for a second. Give me 1 second. Anyway, all right. So, where was I? I'm looking at my cheat sheet. Okay, so I've prepared some of this, but not all. So, yeah. So I hope you guys will bear with me. So some of it is going to be prepared. Some of it won't be prepared. I don't know where to start, but and again, I don't know if this will help. It may make things worse. It may not. I don't really know. I don't really care because something has to change. So I'll start with my prepared stuff. So let me grab my notebook because I wrote down a few notes, and I'm going to add to my notes. So let me just push this back a little bit. I hope all my loving and loyal fans had a good day and a good weekend. I did not. So I just want to throw it out there, and we all know why. So yeah. again, and you may not. I mean, I'll tell you, but I did not have a good weekend. It was very stressful, and I barely got any sleep, and pretty much my weekend was ruined. So far, my 2026 has not been good at all, at all. So I'll start with the good things, I guess, and the prepared things. So number one, and I'm gonna add notes as I go. So sorry, James. Some of this stuff is going to be in the book because I need to fill it up. So because we only have about that much to go, and then I'm going to give it to James. You know what? I may not put anything negative in it because it's not James's fault. So James, I will not put anything negative in this book. I'll add some notes. I'm going to put all the good stuff down. So first of all, work has been going good. Thank God. So work has been going good. We've had finally all the busy days from the Christmas stuff is done. Normally it starts to die down like the third week of February. So yeah. So now we're getting back to like not lazy days, but more chillax days. Really the only time, I mean, it gets a little busy around St. Patrick's Day and stuff like that, but really the only time it gets like monumental, like massively lots of work is Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Thanksgiving, around Halloween, because there's a lot of stuff people buy there, and then sometimes around the 4th of July, and that's about it. All the other in-betweeny times, it's, I'd say, a medium pace. So that's why it's more chillaxed at times. So yeah. So that's good. So number one, the job's going well. So the job is going well. Surprisingly, my YouTube channel is going really well. I don't know if it's because of it must be because of all the shorts or all the lives, because I haven't uploaded any videos, but every day I'm getting like big number subs, and I'm not kidding. So the job is going good. My YouTube channel is going good. And let me just show you. Oh well, I can't really show you, but I'll tell you. So I checked a couple hours ago before that certain podcast went live, and my eyes were like this because in a matter of 2 or 3 days, I hit 3,000 on the main channel a couple days ago. So that was good, and the trolls wouldn't even give me that moment. They unsubscribed, or somebody unsubscribed. And then, or I'm not blaming it on them. Maybe I am, maybe I ain't. It could have been them, it could not have been them. Maybe YouTube hadn't caught up because there was a lot of glitching. So it was either both. YouTube hadn't caught up, and the trolls wouldn't even give me my moment. Of hitting 3,000, or just YouTube sometimes glitches and it didn't caught up. But since it's caught up, or whatever, since it's been a few days after that day, that day they wouldn't even let me hit it. You know what I'm saying? Like I had it for 2 minutes, and then the rest of that live, it went down to like 2,900 and something. But since then, and it's been a few days, I'm way over 3,000. So now I'm at 3,000. Hang on, let me switch over to the main channel so I can actually give you an exact number. It's 3,025 something. Hang on, let me find out. Rest of that live. So it's, let me have a look. It is 3,027. So that's amazing. I never thought I would get that far at all. Never. I'm lucky if I thought I'd get 1,000. And then on the vlog channel, it's doing surprisingly well. Within the last couple of days, the minute I hit 3,000, I was like at 1,950 or I'm sorry, 1,950. And within the last 3 or 4 days, I'm only a couple away from 2,000. I shit you not, because I just looked at it right now, and I'm at 1,988. So I'm about to hit 2,000 on the blog channel. So that's good. So not everything is bad. A lot is bad, but not everything is bad. So those two things are actually pretty good. So my YouTube is going good. My family is actually doing really good. My brother is feeling great. He was staying at my mom's house because in case of anything went wrong with his surgery and all that, and then his doctors fucked up his diet. They thought that oh yeah, you'll be on a liquid diet for 12 weeks. It won't be that bad, and then after 12 weeks, we're gonna gradually give you more, solid food, because he doesn't have a stomach anymore because the cancer was inside his stomach, and they thought they could save it, and they're like, oh no, it's too big, and they killed a lot of the cancer in his stomach. So they just said it's just easier to take out your stomach and take your esophagus. If this is his esophagus, they just stretched it, didn't tie it. They sewed it to his small intestines. So now the small intestines and the large intestines have to work overtime. But at least he can eat solid food, and he doesn't have a bag on his.
So they just said it's just.
They don't have a bag on his side, so that's good. So I'm gonna do some updates, and then I'm gonna get to the serious talk. So now my brother's on a better diet. Some days he still has to have liquid, like a liquid diet. Some days they're introducing more solid foods. So because he doesn't have a stomach, he can't have like a whole hamburger all at once, So he's got to take it slow. So first of all, I want to thank all the fans for all the prayers. So all my loving and loyal fans, because I know the trolls don't give a flying fuck about my life or my channel or none of my family. They don't give a flying fuck. But I know my loving and loyal fans do. So I appreciate the prayers. So my brother's doing better. I cannot wait to see my family because things have been so stressful the last, especially the last 3 days. The last 3 days have been absolutely fucking terrible. And I don't know who spread this rumor around. Someone said I wanted to commit suicide. I absolutely did not say that. I told some of my fans I'm so stressed out, I feel like putting a gun to my head. But I never said I was actually going to commit suicide. I just said I was super stressed out. I would never commit suicide. But we'll get to the rumors part of the live here in just a second, because I don't understand why, but people make up so much bullshit and so much rumors about me. It makes me sick. And almost some of it's true, some of it's not true. Most of it's not true. So I'll save that for that. But anyway, because things have been so stressful, I am so looking forward to seeing my brother and my little nephew. He's going to turn 1. He's the cutest little guy ever. I'm going to take him for a walk in the park. We're going to hang out. He started to walk a little bit, my mom said. So he's making progress. Sometimes he falls down, but I already bought him one gift. I bought him that bib from Atomic Horror. I may go back and get him another bib. But my mom was like, well, don't buy too many gifts, because my mom wants to go shopping with me and buy his big birthday present when I get to Missouri. So I'll probably do a vlog there. I know I'll be behind even more, but I know my loving and loyal fans will want to see the trip. So that's coming up. So that'll be a good way to decompress. That'll be a good way to family and friends are always great to talk to and to spend time with, because that's what's most important in life. So I'm very excited. I get to they haven't picked a theme yet for Shelton's birthday. So my mom was like, do you want to help pick a theme and you can help decorate? And I was like, oh yeah. I said, I'll help out. I said, I love being a really cool, awesome, wacky uncle. I said, whatever you guys need. I said, you let me know. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be very stress-free. It'll be a lot of fun to hang out. I'm going to hang out with my friend Eric. I told him a little bit about what's going on, and he just kind of gave me this what the fuck, Fears? And I was like, I know. And he's like, why do they give you so much grief? And I was like, I don't know. I said, I know a little bit, but I said, I don't know everything. And he was like, well, I'll get into that in a second. So he's like, I don't get it, man. He goes, I don't get it. He goes, you're a nerd that loves movie props and you love to vlog. He goes, I just don't get it. I said, neither do I. I said, it's hilarious. I said, I don't understand. I said, people want my blood for some reason. I just don't, I don't get it. And then I told my buddy Eric, I said, well, I kind of get it. I said some things, but I said, I don't know everything, but you know. Anyway, so that'll be sorry, my contacts have been in way too long. I may have to take them out because my eyes are watering. That'll be a good way to decompress because family and friends are way more important than YouTube or job or whatever. So my family's doing good, which always makes me happy. I wish I was I wish I was doing better or just as good as them, but I'm glad they're doing good. My family's doing good. So, let's get to the rumors. So, rumors. No, I'm not dead. Apparently, someone started that bullshit rumor up again. I don't know who. It's just stuff I've heard through the grapevines. I'm not going to give any names. Just people been writing me like, are you all right, Fears? Are you dead? You're talking to me, so I'm not dead. So, no, I'm not dead. No, I am not dead. I wrote to Visions because I guess either someone told him I had given up. I don't know why he said this. He said this in Zach's live that I had given up. So I wrote to him and said, no, I haven't given up. I'm just taking a break from streaming because things are getting crazy and out of control. And I said, I'm just going to focus on me and my mental health and working on my projects and stuff. And he's like, oh, that's good. He goes, I'm glad you're staying busy. Let me read the actual message, because if I don't read the actual message, you're lying. You know? So, let me see here. And we had a nice long talk. Me and Visions haven't had a long talk in quite a while, so I'm just going to read one message, because the message starts from here and goes all the way to about there. So, I'm not going to read everything because it's private. I just said, hey man, I haven't given up. I'm taking a break from streaming, working on video projects. And he went, oh, that's good. Glad you're staying busy. And I said, I need a break from the community. I said, all this drama, this Yak and Larry show and all the rest of the drama, I said, it's a bunch of crap. I said, it's just so stressful. I said, but I'll be back at some point. So yeah, I haven't given up. I know, and I said, I know you don't believe in God visions, but I was praying the other night, and I was asking why I get all this drama. I said, I hope things get better. Thanks for always being a good friend. Later, buddy. So, and then we had the rest of our conversation. So, no, I haven't given up. I'm just working on other things, and I just need a break from everything because things have been absolutely insane. So, no, I haven't given up. So, no, I haven't given up. Someone said that I reconciled with Larry, and I absolutely did not reconcile with Larry, and I will not reconcile with Larry. Larry's done too much. So I've distanced myself from Larry as much as I can, but he just keeps coming back. He keeps harassing me, cyberbullying me. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I will never reconcile with him. He's done too much. At one time, I wanted to. At one time, I absolutely did want to reconcile with him, but he's just done too much, and I absolutely can't take it anymore. He's pushed me to the max.
At one time,
Sorry, I forgot to mute my my mic. So, So no, I have not reconciled with him. I heard someone say that, and no, so no, I haven't reconciled with Larry, and I won't. I just I can't. He's done too much. I wish I was more like Zach, like learn to forgive. But once people just continuously fuck me over, um, why would I give that person another chance? And why would I give that person another chance and another chance and another chance and another chance? See how annoying that is? At some point you have to cut. I'm so surprised I gave Yak like 40 or 50 chances, but I saw something in him. I may not give Yak another chance though. Since he created this Yak off and Larry bullshit stream, because he's supposed to be my friend, but he's helping out a troll. Now, where's the logic in that? To quote Spock, where's the logic in that? And of course, he's gonna say, "Well, I'm the middleman, Fierce. I'm your friend. I'm his friend. Why would you be friends with Larry? I don't like him. He's a troll. He'll always troll. So that doesn't make any sense to me. That's like saying, let's say Randy hated Quentin. I don't know if Randy actually hates Quentin, and then said, "Hey, Randy, like me and Quentin are going to do a show, and it's for your benefit. It's not for my benefit. It's not for Randy's benefit. It's just Yakov loves. He likes to, and I know he's going to do a rehashing of this, and I don't care. I think I'll get to all the rehashing crap in a minute. And I'm not saying anything bad. I'm not trolling Yakov. He knows exactly what I'm going to say. I don't like the rehashing show. I don't like the last word show. I don't like any of that crap. Because it just brings up more drama. It absolutely brings up more drama. So, like, giving Larry a platform, all he did tonight was just make fun of me. That's all. I mean, like, he made fun of me. Oh, Fears doesn't know how to do. I didn't watch all of it. I watched about 20 minutes, and I felt sick to my stomach, and then I went to sleep. That's why I'm wide awake. I was like, why am I watching someone make fun of me? I'm like, this is so stupid. So I watched about 20 minutes, and in that 20 to 30 minutes, it was around there, 20, 30 minutes, he said that I'm ungrateful and that I don't know how to do math, and I'm this and I'm that, and I'm just like, he's just saying this to get a rise out of me. He is like the definition of a troll, Larry. He loves the troll. He loves it. He embraces it. That's why he bought fearsman.com, which I don't care. I don't care. The only reason why he's using fearsman.com is because I said he wouldn't use it. So now he's using it. So anything I say, he's going to do the opposite, If I said, I guarantee you, if I said, "Oh, I bet you he won't use it," then he probably wouldn't have used it. But I said, or I'm sorry, vice versa. I said, "Oh, Larry will use it. He'll use it. He'll use it." Guaranteed, if I would have started with, "Oh, he'll use it. He'll use it. He'll use it," he wouldn't have used it. But because I said, "Oh, he probably won't use it. I don't care that he owns fearsman.com," now he's using it. But he made fun of me. He was like, "Oh, Fears doesn't know how to do math. He doesn't know how to do this. He doesn't know how to do that." I'm like, why am I watching this? And I'm like, why is Yakov giving him a platform? So Yakov likes to he wants to be your friend, but he also likes to troll. He's even said that. He said he's immature, which he is. And he's even called the chat stupid. I've heard him many times say, "Oh, you guys in the chat are so stupid," So I don't understand his logic, But and of course he's got an answer for everything. And every single time I've messaged him, he has to get the last word. That's why he made that show, getting the last word. He thinks that's clever. It's not clever at all. It's just annoying as hell. Making up all like the rehashing stuff. It's just so, and I'm trying to do this as calmly as possible. All that stuff is so goddamn immature. I apologize, Yakov, for saying goddamn because I'm so frustrated beyond belief. All that stuff is so immature. Like Larry trolling me for what? He called me for 6.5 months, and now we're into 2026. So he's almost been, but between the first time out and the first like blocking, because I unblocked him twice, and then finally I blocked him a third time and said I'm never gonna unblock you. I gave him multiple chances. What it is he says it's all about the oh, I said one comment, you don't like the zoo. Yeah, that was annoying, but that wasn't it. It started way before that. He doesn't like to follow any rules. Ask him. He doesn't like to like. Oh, I'm into freedom of speech. I'm a true American. Fears isn't a true American. Who said that? Yes, I'm very patriotic. So I'm like, what the hell are you on about? He doesn't like that. He doesn't follow anyone's rules. I'll give you an example. Zach, I think it was 4 to 5 times I was watching in the shadows. He had to say to Larry, at least 5 or 6 times. Don't quote me, because if I don't have exact numbers, you lied. So I counted at least 5 or 6 times Zach saying, now Larry, behave. He doesn't like to behave. He doesn't like to follow anyone's rules. I only had 2 rules, and I still have 2 rules. Don't cause chaos in the chat, and let's just all get along. And he just thinks, oh, I can just say whatever the hell I want. No, you cannot. If I don't like something, I'm going to delete the comment. I'm going to time someone out. I'm going to block someone if I get sick and tired of it. And people in this community, I don't know how it is in other communities on YouTube, because our little community is not the only little community. There's tons of communities on YouTube. Normally, a sane person would be like, oh, yeah, he timed me out. Who cares? Oh, he blocked me. Oh, okay, well, I guess he doesn't like me. I'll leave him alone. Larry, literally, the first time out, he was like, Fears, you better unblock me. You better unblock me. You're going to start a war. That's insanity. That is insane. So I unblocked him, and I paid for it. I got trolled tons before the first unblockage. So I unblocked him. I thought, all right, well, I'll give him another chance. Everything was smooth sailing. He started up again. Like, he likes to push people to the limit. So here comes the second one. I said, I can't take this anymore. I'm so sick of his bullshit. So I blocked him again. More bullshit. Somebody convinced me to unblock him again. So I unblocked him again. And then the third time I was like, I cannot take this shit anymore. I will not put up with this bullshit anymore. I'm sick and tired of it. No one should have to go through as much bullshit as I go through. I'm just a nerd from Missouri, and I blocked him. And then, all the calling me for 6.5 months, getting my number changed, all that stuff is unforgivable. You know what? And I'll give him this, though. It's not as bad as Moody calling my parents. But you know what? I do have a little bit of respect for Moody, because he's never bothered me since then. Ever. He's never reached out, which I'm glad, because if he reached out to me, all hell would break loose. So I have to give Moody, I don't respect him a lot, but I respect him a tiny bit, at least. And I respect Jason Cool more than Larry, because Jason Cool has not reached out to me in ages. And that's one person I would like to reconcile with. It'll probably never happen, but I would like to at some point. So at least they've respected, like, you know what, Fears has been through enough. I'll leave him alone. And Moody has. But Larry just will not stop. So look at it from my point of view. Why would I want to be friends with someone like that? Why? And then people make fun of me and say, oh, well, Fears, you're scared to be in a stream with him. No, I'm not. For the 1 billionth time, it's this simple. I don't want to deal with his bullshit anymore. I've had enough. I'm not afraid of him. I'm in my prime. I'm 42. He's 55. I'm not afraid of him whatsoever. At all. I just don't want to deal with his bullshit anymore. I'm sick of people's fucking bullshit. And I'm done. So I told Zach, I told everybody, I said, 3 strikes and you're out. I'm fucking done. And the problem is he just will not stop. And I've distanced myself from him. I've done everything that I could. I blocked him. I timed him out. I've done everything to say, look, you go your way, I'll go my way. I want nothing to do with you. And he's done more to me than I've done to him by far. But he gets away with it. I'll give you an example. The other day, he was on Yak's show and he wished death upon me. He literally said, I think he said, I don't recall, he said something like, I'll throw him off a cliff, or I hope he jumps off a cliff. And the only thing that anyone did was Yakov say, don't even go there, lady. But if I would have said that, I would have gotten weeks of hell. So he should be, you guys always, say, oh, we have to teach fears a lesson. Oh, like he should be in control of his actions, but no one ever calls him on his bullshit, Like everyone got so mad at me. Fears, you shouldn't wish death upon someone. You shouldn't wish death upon someone. He does it. It's okay. And it's so unfair. I've never called anyone's parents. I've never made videos of people fucking people's parents. But Larry and his little troll buddies have. They always take it far much worse than I have. And I guess all that stuff's okay because everyone, or mostly everybody in the community, likes Larry. Why? I don't know. I'm baffled. And because I guess because I freak out more, I'm the bad guy? No, I'm not the bad guy. I don't care what you people think, I'm not the bad guy. I'm not. And all I've ever done is stuck up for myself. And I'm sure people are laughing right now, but I'm telling you, if you're honest with yourself, look in the back of your mind, you guys know I'm telling the truth. Larry has done far more to me than I've done to him. Like, look at tonight's live. After I woke up, I skimmed through it. He's making fun of me the whole time. And Yakov's defending me some. But again, I don't trust Yakov a lot. I wrote him a message tonight and said, this will probably be the last time I talk to you for quite a long time. I'm like, years. I'm not kidding. It'll probably be the last time I talk to Yakov for years. I said, I won't block you, but I'm that close to blocking Yakov because a true friend would not do a show to help a troll defeat me or whatever the hell he's trying to do. I don't know if Larry's trying to kill me with stress. I don't know if Larry's trying to get me to quit YouTube. I don't know what his angle is, but he's certifiably insane. I appreciate Yakov defending me, but I can't trust him. I called Randall tonight and said, Randall, I guess you were right. And he's like, I told you, Fears. He goes, you told me that Yakov had changed. And I was like, I guess not. And I said, he's better, Randall. I said, I will give him that. I said, he is defending me. And I said, he does still watch my content. I said, he still trolls a bit, but not as much as he did in the past. I said, he's not drunk anymore. He's sober and he found God. So I said, oh, that's good. But I said, Randall, I said, he lives on that line of, yeah, I want to be Fears' friend, but I still want to have the opportunity to troll. And you guys know he does it because if he didn't, he wouldn't do all the rehashing bullshit. He wouldn't do the last word. Every troll loves getting the last word. Every single person I've wrote in this community, they always have to get the last word. If I write something, say, all right, I'm done with the conversation, then they write 3 more messages just to cover their ass. And it's so annoying. I'm like, are we adults or are we little 5th graders? And I'm just so sick of it, So there's that. There's all that stuff. So, and I'm not here to bash anyone. I'm telling the honest to God truth. Like, I've told Yak a million times. I'm like, it is so pointless to do that rehashing show. It is so pointless to do that last word show. I said, that is just only going to cause more drama. And I don't care what he says. I know drama sells on YouTube. He knows it. He knows it, and I know it. The only difference is I don't want any drama. I don't want any drama. And the trolls they know which areas to put the knife in. and cut me and hurt me. Like, I've never made a troll video of anyone. But like that Fears guy blogs, I wish he would actually just edit videos of his own, because even though I don't like his channel, he's a damn fine good editor. I'd love to see him edit a video that's not a Fears bashing one. He couldn't do it. I challenged the guy to do a non-Fears edit. He couldn't do it. He could not do it. So prove me wrong, because all he does, like he said, I got arrested. That was another rumor. I'm sorry, I forgot about that one. I don't know where he got that, but I was not arrested. You know, so no, I haven't got arrested since he made that video. So I noticed that he either hid it or he took it down. So yeah, I haven't got arrested. So, and I'm trying to be super professional with this. I'm not trying to get mad. That was another reason why I went so late. I was like, Fears, be calm. Or I said, be as calm as you possibly can, because I'm very frustrated and I'm very upset because of all this shit that's went down within the last, well, ever since he started calling me, you know, for 6.5 months, I've been upset. But I said I'm really upset the last couple of days, you know? So, it's just been a lot. I don't think anyone deserves all this. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, because I forgot about that rumor. Yak knows it's immature. I've told him, I said, dude, I said, if you would just focus on your gaming stream and the whatever that game is at the end that him and Lanner like to play, Jackbox or Jack in the Box or whatever. I said, if you stuck to your game and your Jack in the Box and your what is it when he watches other YouTubers? The rants. That would be fine. But all the rehashing stuff and all the getting the last word in, that is just immature baby shit. And I'm like, especially if someone's already hashed it out between the other person. Like if I've hashed out, like, oh yeah, me and Dave had a disagreement, or me and Zach had a disagreement, but we hashed it out. Everything's cool. Everything's all right. Yeah, we're all good. There's no need to bring it up again, because it'll just cause more drama in the community. And I hope I'm making sense. That, like, I would never rehash something, you know? The reason why I'm doing this stream tonight is because I've had a lot of stuff on my chest and I have to get it out, or my brain's going to explode, because I've got a lot to talk about. So I'm not rehashing anything. I'm telling you guys new stuff. So that's, I've told Yak. And I'm not saying anything bad about Yak. I'm not ripping on him. Usually Yak is a good guy. I just don't like him sitting on that fine line. I'm like, either you're a troll or you're not. Either you're my friend or you're my not. He likes to do this flip-flop game, and he's been doing it for years. And he knows it, and he has. Like, I know in a day or two, or tomorrow when he's on Yak and Larry, because I already checked their schedule, he's got like 4 or 5 ready to go. They'll do a whole bunch of rehashing shit. I challenge him to be an adult and not rehash it, but he will. He will. It's just insane. So that's the only thing I don't like about Yakov. All the rehashing shit, all the last word shit, all that stuff. If he would just, like when he started his show, I really didn't like the John Scares guy. But I was like, there's nothing I can do. And I just said, fine, Yak. I said, fine. He goes, Fears, it'll die down. He goes, eventually, he goes, I'm going to use it until it goes away. It hasn't went away. And I was reluctant, but I said, fine. If he would have just stayed that, now his whole show is now about me. Or most, not all of it, but most of it. I'm like, I am not that important. People need to stop being so obsessed with me and just, I really hope I don't get in trouble for this. I really hope it doesn't cause any more drama, because my head's about to explode. I am so sick of this fucking bullshit. I'm at a loss for words. I'm not kidding. I'm trying to find the words. I don't think I'm that important for all this shit. It's so much shit. It's so much unnecessary drama, bullshit. And I'm like, obviously, do the fans get sick of it? I'm like, they must. If they don't, then people need to find some more stuff to do with their time. I'm like, I know I'm sick of it. Zach's getting sick of it. I talked to Dave today, and I said, Dave, I said, you will not hurt my feelings. I said, Dave, I said, I want an honest answer. And he said, Fears, I'm always honest with you. I said, okay, great. And I said, I know you are, Dave, but I said, you will not hurt my feelings. I said, A, are you sick of this shit? I said, B, do you think I love drama? And C, I said, do you think I'm a horrible person? And he said, yes, I'm getting sick of the drama bullshit. He said, no, I don't think you're a horrible person. And no, I don't think you like drama. Or whatever the third one was. I just said, I'm sorry, I'm tired. Or I'm getting tired. And then I said, great. I said, so do I. I said, how do I fix this? And he said, Fears, you just have to learn to control your temper more. He goes, you have to learn to be more patient. He goes, and you have to ignore them. I said, Dave, I've tried everything. I said, even when I try to ignore them, they come back 50 times worse. I said, there's no need for a Larry show. I said, all that shit is so unnecessary. It's a bunch of crap, you know? And I said, Dave, I've tried. They know exactly where to stick the knife. I said, they make it so personal. I said, then you got idiots like Fears Guy Blogs making a whole bunch of disgusting videos. I've never made a troll video, not once, to anyone. And I don't think I deserve all that. All those videos are so fucking hurtful. Excuse me for a second. I still have a cold. So there's that. And I said, well, Dave, I said, at least you're on my side. I said, Dave, I said, do you think I want stuff with, like going on with Zach? I said, no, I don't. I said, no, I don't. I said, and this, I'll tell you guys exactly what happened with me and Zach. We butted heads. I guess he took it the wrong way. I've always said this since I was little. I guess when we were vlogging, I came to him and said, "Hey, man." Here I'll start from the beginning. I said, "Hey, Zach." I said, "I'm ready to go whenever you are." To me, that is not rushing someone. I don't care what Yak. I don't care what anyone says in the community. That's not rushing. That's saying, "Hey, when you're ready, I'm ready to leave the store whenever you are." And if you look in the vlog, he took it the wrong way, and that's why he said all that stuff. At the end. And I'm not making fun of Zach. I wish this butting of heads never happened. I really wish. I left him a very nice message. Well, not tonight because it's Monday. I left him a very nice message. I said, hey, whatever it is, man, let's rehash it. Someone told me he's going to call me today, and I said, great. I said, I want to hash this out and get back to being friends and quit butting heads. And I asked him. So I'm glad that he's going to call me today or tomorrow, whenever. I'm not going to reveal who told me that, but someone in the community said, hey, Fears, good news. And I said, oh, I said, what? I said, I need some good news after all this crap. And he said, hey, did you see Yak and Larry's show? I'm like, not really. I said, I watched 20 or 30 minutes of it. I said, I'm contemplating going to work. So I said, I ate something because I haven't eaten all day. I just didn't feel like it because, A, I haven't gotten much sleep Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with all this bullshit. And then I said, B, I just watched the rest of this movie. By the way, thanks a lot, Dave. It was pretty good. So whenever I come back to streaming, I'll get to that in a minute. I'll review it. Planet of the Vampires. Pretty good B movie. I'm giving it a big thumbs up. I really enjoyed it. So Dave, thank you very much for the recommendation. I watched the rest of it. 1960s, pretty good. Give it a big thumbs up. So yeah, so I told this person. So I said I watched 20 or 30 minutes of it, and yeah, I just went to sleep. And then I said when I woke up, I checked to see if he was still live, and I said he wasn't live. So I don't know what they did. You know, I only saw the first 30 minutes of it, and within the 30 minutes, like I said, all that Larry was doing was just bad mouthing me. And then Yakov was kind of laughing, kind of doing jokes. But I will say, I will give Yakov this. He did, whenever Larry went too far, he was like, yeah, Larry, you're lying. Fears never said that. Fears never did that. So I appreciate him doing that. I just wish he would not be on this flip-flop side. Either you're my friend or you're not. Like, I just wish he would do his own show, do the gaming. That's Yakov's thing. Do the gaming, do the music. That's because that's his two things. Do the Jackbox with Lantern or whoever. I don't know how you sign up for that crap. And just do all that instead of all the last word bullshit and all the there's epic news. We gotta rehash it 9 times, and then tomorrow I gotta rehash it on the rehash, and then dash to the hash and all this other bullshit. You know, I'm just like, how many times can you fucking rehash something? So I wish he would get back to his old show. Because if he's just going to keep rehashing things and last word, I told him. I sent him a message. I sent him many messages. And I was afraid to send all those messages, so I sent them, waited an hour, and then I deleted all them because I didn't want him to show all that stuff on Yakov and Larry. I need to take my contacts out. They're watering. I accidentally forgot to take them out yesterday, so I've worn them for 2 days, so I need to take them out. So excuse me. I'm not crying. They're just watering because if you don't take them out in a while, it's they start to irritate your eyes. So anyway, so I was afraid that he. Now I will give him this. He didn't show not one message, or I don't think, because when I got up before I did this live, I kind of skimmed. You know, I skimmed through towards the end. You know, and. I'm sorry. I didn't skim through it. Oh God, now they're gonna give me hell because I'm so tired. I didn't skim it because he put it on private or unlisted. I asked somebody. That's what happened. I'm sorry. I asked someone and they said no. They just watched a bunch of videos, and I said, oh okay. So I don't think he showed any messages. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I'm tired. That's what I meant. So because I don't want to rip on Yak. I'm trying to be straight and narrow with you guys. He's been a good friend sometimes. And I do appreciate his support. And I'm trying to be professional too. I'm not trying to make this a roast stream or a bad mouthing stream that's not who I am. That's not what I'm all about. So I just wish he would pick a side. He's always on that middle ground. So there's that. So, all right, next topic. So me and Jen have been butting heads, and I'm sorry. I just can't deal with her bullshit anymore. I recently blocked her, so I don't care what anyone says. I didn't call her the B word. I didn't call her any nasty names. So no one should get mad at me. She just loves to troll. She loves to say a bunch of hateful things in the chat, and I'm just so sick of her bullshit. And I'm like, I've gave her plenty of chances. I'm like, fuck it, I'm done. So I will not be unblocking her. I don't care what you guys say. No one's going to change my mind. And literally, Kate's almost there too. Because Kate, sometimes she's nice, but then I'll go into another stream, and she's done it before. I'll go into another stream, and she's bad-mouthing me. And she thinks I'm not there. 10 times out of 12, I'm always there. I'm just watching the shadow. I've seen her do it. And then I'll confront her. Oh, no, I'm a sweet angel. I never said anything behind your back. And then in my mind, I'm like, you're lying. You're lying. I'm like, I just saw you do it. So I haven't blocked her yet, but she's like that close. But Jen, I just cannot put up with her bullshit anymore. So I blocked her, and I don't care. You guys can try to get me to change my mind. I am not unblocking her whatsoever. So there's that. So, yeah. So I haven't blocked Kate yet, but I just want all this bullshit to stop. I literally, well, here, I'll go through my topics. So I wanted to discuss the whole Larry stuff, and then I wanted to discuss the Yakov stuff. I should have planned this more. I just thought it'll mean more if I half planned it. I have a little cheat sheet right over here. I'm looking at it, and I'm writing down my notes. And then the other half, I thought, oh, I'll just wing it. So I'm sorry if I'm jumping around a lot. I wish I would have planned it more, but yeah. So um, I hope once they know that I'm not watching, I hope the Larry and the because that's all that Larry wants. He wants a reaction, and I'm not giving it to him because I like the first episode I watched. I don't know, 10 minutes. This recent episode I watched, like I said, 25 to 30 minutes, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch somebody just make fun of me the whole time. So I just said, well, fuck that. I'm going to sleep. And I did. I finished watching Planet of Vampires, and then I had a nap, and I had some dinner before I went to sleep. So I was like, I've got much more important things to do than just sit around and watch a 55-year-old man that acts like a 3-year-old get his jollies off by making fun of me. So yeah, and then so mostly it was about Larry, but I have to. I didn't say any bad things about you, Yak. So I am praying to God that we don't get 7 or 8 rehashes. I'm praying to God because He's a man of God. Yak, I said all nice things. I said I just wish you wouldn't do this. I wish you wouldn't do that. I'm being honest. If he just went back to his old formula, hey guys, it's Yak Off. We're gonna play some epic music. We're gonna do some gaming. We're gonna do some Jack in the Box. I liked those shows. Everyone was chilling. Everybody was cool in the chat. Everything was rocking, and it was a great time. And I hope he sticks to all that. I hope he'll go back to that because now he's got I've got a new KBS thing. Oh, I got the rehash, and then the rehash of the rehash, and then next week I got 5 more rehashes. I'm like, all that stuff is so immature. It's so unnecessary. And then I'm gonna get the last word. Welcome to the last word. That's so stupid. It's like I'm dealing with little infant children here. I'm like, it's so dumb, and it's so annoying. It's beyond belief annoying. And I may not have any fans after this stream. And you know what? I mean, I love my loving and loyal fans, but something's got to change because people are driving me insane. So I know some people are not going to like what I'm going to say, but it needs to be said. I get it the worst than anyone in the community, and it's unfair. It's unfair. No one, you guys always hold me accountable for my action. That was the word I was thinking of. Larry never gets held accountable for his actions, ever. Unless Yakoff, I think Yakoff's the only one that kind of. Nobody else does. Because I've heard Yakov go, oh no, Larry, Fears didn't say that, don't even go there. But again, if you guys are honest with yourself, I don't remember what stream Larry was in, but he literally said, I'm going to throw Fears off a cliff, or I hope Fears jumps off a cliff. If I would have said that to someone, you guys would have spent 10 weeks on it. I can't believe Fears wished death upon somebody and said, oh, throw off a cliff. Larry does it, not anything happens. And it's fucking bullshit, and it's not fair. It's not fair. So everyone holds me accountable, but they never hold him accountable, except for Yak saying, no, don't even go there, Larry. Or no, Larry, that's not. And I give that up to Yak. He does stick up for me sometimes. And I appreciate that, Yak, and I appreciate you trying to be a good friend. And whenever I ask Yak for advice, he always gives me good advice. He is a Christian. I don't like that he badmouths my church. He does it less these days. Back in the day, he said your church isn't a proper church, and I think that's wrong. He still does kind of say that. Who is he to say that it isn't a proper church? It is a proper church. My church is a non-denominational Christian church. It's not his church, but it is a Christian church. And I've been going to it since I was 4 or 5. Trust me, it's a real church. There's wonderful people there. I love my Christian family. They're the most nicest people. And I feel bad I haven't went, just recently I went back and they're like, where have you been? You we thought you moved back to Missouri. And I said, no. I said, I haven't moved back to Missouri. I said, I've been going through a lot of stuff, and I just didn't feel like coming. Excuse me for a second. And they're like, oh, well, we're glad to see you. So I love my Orlando Christian family, and I love my Missouri family because I know my Missouri Christian family more because I've been going there since I was 4 or 5. Sorry about this. I wish this cold would go away. So Yak, I'm not bad mouthing you, but I just wish Yak would do a couple things differently. Like, he's a very emotional guy. So am I, you know? But, like, I just wish everything in this community didn't revolve around me. I so regret saying, oh man, I'm the leader of the community. I don't want to be anymore. Lantern, you can have it. Zach, you can take over. Dave, you can have it. I don't care. Somebody please take over. I don't want to be, I don't mind being the host with the most because, you know, I am the host with the most with, you know, my show, but I don't want to be the leader of the community at all. At all. I don't mind being a member, but I'm not the leader of the community. But I get the most shit. And it's totally unfair, you know? I wish people would back off and cut me some slack because it's insane. It's absolutely insane. So that's all I wanted to say about you, Yak. I just wish you could go back to your old platform and not do the Larry and Yak show. I wish you wouldn't do the rehashing and the, what's the other one? The last word stuff, because it's just so unnecessary. When someone hashes something out or someone says, hey guys, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened, then it should be it. But when people rehash it, oh, did you hear this and did you hear that? That's how rumors are spread and that's how assumptions are made and all that crap. And it just leads to more drama. And I don't like drama. I know some people in the community love drama. They do. Yeah. Like, I'm being honest. If I could, I wish, what would make my year is if that Fears Guy Blogs, by the end of the year, just took down all those videos and took his channel down and renamed it. That would make my year. He probably won't, but that would make my year because I don't want a channel dedicated to me. Like, he keeps talking about some documentary. I am not worth a documentary. I don't want a documentary about myself. I definitely don't want Moody to do it because I don't like Moody. So I don't want any of that stuff. I don't deserve a troll channel based on me. I don't want any of that crap. Like, I'm just Fears. I'm just simple, plain old Fears, you know? There's nothing special about me. I wish there was, but there's nothing. I'm not gonna walk on the moon. I'm not Albert Einstein. I'm just a geek that likes movie props, that likes to talk about movies, and I'm very passionate about movies and photography. As much as I like movies, I love photography. That's where I went to film school. That's it. I'm not going to climb Mount Everest. Nothing. Like, I'm surprised I hit 3,000, and I couldn't even enjoy it because of all this drama bullshit. Like, it just hit. I was excited for 2 minutes, and then a week of bullshit, and I was like, great. I couldn't even celebrate it with my fans. I couldn't even, even when I tried to get, ideas. Like, hey, you guys think I should do this for my 3,000 celebration? Well, now I'm not going to do any of that because I've had to go through so much bullshit. So I couldn't even enjoy it. So it was ridiculous. So, Yak, that's what I got to say to you. Now I'm going to go to Larry. I've covered some of the Larry stuff. I don't know what Larry wants. I think I know what he wants. He wants to talk to me. I do not want to talk to you for the 1 billionth time. I'm done with you, Larry. You need to learn and accept it, and you need to move on. Hell, you're older than me, and I'm asking you to move on and leave me the hell alone. You don't need a podcast. You don't need to, call me a million times. You don't need to talk to me. I wish he could make a deal with me. If you don't bring my name up, I won't bring your name up. I don't know what he wants. I don't know if, I don't want to die young like Adam Lewis. He died for a couple of things. He died, his dad told me it was 3 things. Stress, and I'm like, oh, well, yeah, YouTube gives you stress. Stress, he was a little bit overweight, and he died of a heart attack. Well, guess what? Fears is stressed. I'm a little overweight, you know? So I'm like putting the pieces together. I'm like, do they actually want me to die? Do they? I think some people actually do. And Yakov said that nobody wants you to die, Fierce. I'm like, you're lying. I'm like, most people in the community don't want me to die. Those trolls could care less if I lived or died. Some of them, that one guy that came on Larry's show is a prime example. Before I took Larry's channel down, that crazy guy that came on, he called me the spawn of Satan. He called my dad the devil. That guy's absolutely insane. He goes, I can't wait for Fears to die, all that stuff. If I died tomorrow, I bet Larry and all these other people would feel so bad about all the shit that they gave me, you know, and I'd be like, shame on you, you know, in the afterlife. No one deserves the amount of bullshit that I've went through. Nobody at all. And if you guys are all honest with yourself, and I'm being as calm as I possibly can, and I've been doing pretty good. I'm not mad. I'm frustrated, but I'm not mad. I've been doing pretty good. You know, I'm being honest. I thought Fears would already have snapped by now, but I'm doing good. Probably because I planned some of this out. So when Yak said that, I'm sorry, Yak. I don't believe you. Most people, because I do have loving and loyal fans, and trust me, I love my loving and loyal fans, and I don't care what trolls do. To all my loving and loyal fans, I'm going to keep doing YouTube to the day I die. And then when I die, I'm going to give my nephew the channel, and I hope he does excellent things with both my channels. So, and then I hope whenever he gets older, he can give his son or daughter my channel and have the channels live on forever. That would be great. But some trolls, or most trolls I've read online, they don't give a damn about your thoughts, your feelings. They don't give a damn about your content. All they care about, and if you're honest with yourselves, you know, yeah, Fierce is right. All they give a shit about is how much we can annoy the person and how much we can destroy their life. So either they're trying to get me to die of stress, or they're getting me to try to quit YouTube, and it's disgusting and it's despicable. And I'm being completely honest because I read shit online, you know. It's terrible. It's terrible the way they treat me, the way they've treated my family. They've made stupid videos of me having sex with my mom, Lantern having sex with my mom. That stuff is horrible. That stuff's despicable. And look at what Larry's done. He's so proud of himself. Hey, check out fearsman.com. Like a little infant kid. He was gloating. He was gloating about embarrassing the shit out of me at Barnes & Noble. And he never would have found that out. I know accidents happen. I'm not blaming it on Dave, but Dave, I know accidents happen. So Dave, whenever you watch this, I'm not blaming you, Dave. Dave accidentally told Larry and everybody in the live, oh yeah, we're around this area. Well, Larry may be an idiot, but he's a smart idiot. He found out where it was, and then he called. He's doing the same shit. That's why I never go to the coffee shop anymore, because I'm afraid if I go to the I used to love going to the coffee shop and just editing, and then after doing some edits, I got so much work done at a coffee shop, and I would use their free internet, and I would be flowing. I wish I could still go to the coffee shop. It was nice and quiet. I would throw my headphones on and listen to music. So this area has been kind of my new coffee shop. That's why I make coffee and put it here. But I used to love going to the coffee shop. And now I can't go because if I ever did a live there, or if I ever said, yeah, I'm going to the coffee shop to edit, they would find out where I am and call. And I hate when they interrupt people at their work. That is so despicable. That's despicable. It's horrible. And I feel terrible. So all that shit has to stop. And I'm asking whoever is doing that, whether it's Larry, all those trolls, I want all the pizza shit to stop. It's ridiculous. Just grow the fuck up and stop calling people to my house. People need to stop coming to my house. It is absolutely insanity. You know? And I have to go out there, and it's the same bullshit spiel. And sometimes they have to open up their app because they don't speak a lick of friggin' English. And I'm like, look, I'm sorry I wasted your time. Nobody should have to, they shouldn't have to go through that. I shouldn't have to go through that. It's insanity. It's insanity. So there's all that. I don't know what, and all this stemmed from, as far as I know, like I was saying, Larry does not like to conform to any rules. Look at any Discord. I'm sorry, look at, yeah, I'll go with Discord. Look at any Discord he's in. Dave even told me. He said, Fears, Larry left on his own accord. I said, I thought you kicked him out. He goes, nope. He goes, Larry left because I guess he wouldn't follow Dave's rules in his Discord. And he said he left on his own. So that's one example. He doesn't like following rules. He likes to do his own thing. Like, hey, I can do whatever the fuck I want. No, you cannot. If someone sets some rules, you have to respect those rules. Like, I respect any person's rules whenever I go into anyone's live stream. Like, I don't know how many rules Carrie has, but I would respect all her rules. I don't know. I don't think Zach has any rules. You know, but if Zach did have rules, I would respect each and every one of his rules. You know, I don't think Yak has any rules, but if he did, I would absolutely respect his rules if I went. I've only got 2. I want everyone to get along as best as possible, you know, because I don't like drama. Some people think I do, and I absolutely, for the 1 billionth time, I don't like drama. I hate doing these. I don't even know what you call them, like how to mend the wounds, a serious talk with my fan, whatever you want. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Like this one, I called a serious talk with my fans because I'm being open, honest, dead serious with you guys. You know, no funny fears. I'm just being honest, and I'm just expressing my thoughts. But something has to change. It's ridiculous. So I don't know what he's trying to do. So I have 2 rules, those, and I could tell. Like at first, me and Larry were getting along, and then something just snapped in that brain of his that went from normal to psychotic. Look at all the stuff he's done, and I'm dead serious. He will not let this lying thing go. Yeah, I lied in the past. Sometimes I fib or over-exaggerate. Yes, I do. But it's anything catastrophic. And I don't really lie that much. I may over-embellish sometimes, but he has to let that go, you know? And yeah, I'll admit it. I lied back in the day. Why? Because I didn't have any self-confidence. And all my other friends back in the day were a hell of a lot cooler than me. I was the nerd. Trent was way cooler. Eric was way cooler. Trent got all the girls. Eric could have got all the girls, but he decided to go with one girl, which I respect. Tommy was way cooler, so I just lied. Not every day, but I lied a lot to make myself cooler. Obviously, that wasn't the best way to do it. I have more confidence now as an adult. I had 0 to no confidence. So, yeah, and everyone holds that against me. And I'm like, even when I try, I have to show you guys evidence and evidence and evidence. And I'm so sick of doing it. I'm like, why can't they just take my word? I'm like, I'm so sick of this bullshit. I'm like, I try to move forward, and they do all this shit to me, and it's just like a never-ending circle of bullshit. So I'm like, well, what the hell do you want from me? You know? And I'm so frustrated. So he needs to let that go. He needs to understand he's done too much. I tried to reconcile 3 times. And every single time, he just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. Notice how annoying that is? He's fucking annoying. I just couldn't do it anymore. He pushes people to the limit. He does it all the time. Zach, he's done it. Zach blocked him once. I had a conversation with Zach. I said, Zach, it may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. I said, eventually. And I'm predicting something because Zach's already blocked him once and then he unblocked him. I said, eventually you're going to get sick and tired of his shit and you will block him. I said, because I got sick and tired of his shit. I said, it may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. It may not be till 10 years. You will. If Zach doesn't, I'll be astounded. So, Zach today, I'm sorry, not today because it's Monday. Yesterday in his driving stream, I counted 5 or 6. He's like, hey, Larry, behave. Eventually, Zach's going to get sick of. Now, I don't know what Larry said. But obviously it was something bad for Zach to say, hey, behave, behave, behave. You know, he's going to get sick and tired of that. No normal person, right? No normal person would go through all this time and effort if he did not have a couple of screws loose. And you guys know I'm telling the truth. I would never take it this far. I would never call someone for 6.5 months. He's like, hey, I'm going to buy fearsman.com, and he puts all these stupid troll videos up, and it's only a matter of time. I guarantee I'll do whatever it takes to find your number, Fears, and all this other bullshit. And I'm just like, this person is certifiably insane. And I'm telling you, if he comes anywhere near my home, I'm calling the fucking police and I'm getting a restraining order on him. That's why I can't come to Lantern Fest, because I don't want to be anywhere near Larry. I don't. I don't really want to meet Jen at all. I mean, there's other people that are going to be there that I don't like or I don't get along with, and so I'm sorry, Lantern. I wish I could. Lantern, you're more than welcome to come visit me by yourself, or if Lantern's sister brought him down, or if Kate brought Lantern down, I would take Kate and Lantern to Disney on my Disney pass, but I'm not going to Lantern Fest. And I know a lot of people want me to go, and I'm sorry, I'm just not going. So, and I seriously doubt Lantern Fest will happen, because that's a lot of money, and a lot of people have a lot of schedules, and people would have to book it and all that stuff. I seriously doubt it'll happen. So yeah. If it does happen, then hey, great for them. And I'm not saying people shouldn't do it. If it happens, you guys have a grand old time. And I know Yak was like, oh no, we'll plan it out so Larry doesn't have to be there. And I'm like, no, it's not happening. I'm just as stubborn as Larry. Oh, well, no, I'm almost as stubborn as Larry. Larry's pretty damn stubborn, and set in his ways. If I say I'm not going, I'm not going, and you guys know, if I say I'm not going to unblock somebody, I'm not going to unblock somebody. I've given people way too many chances. People have stepped all over me, walked all over me, used my kindness. I'm sick and tired of it. I can't fucking live like this anymore. It's every day. Every day I'm like, how are they going to fuck with my life today? It is insanity. I'm not worth it. I wish people would just leave me alone. I really wish. And if that's me leaving the community and the community goes away, I wish, and I'm doing pretty good. I almost lost it there for a second. I wish I could jump into a time machine and never meet this community ever. I've told Randall at least 500 times. I said, Randall, I wish Doc Brown was real. I would hop in that time machine and never answered that email to come on the Rasmus show. So I blame Raz, partly because that's how I got introduced to this community. I wish I never, which sucks because I've met some wonderful people in this community, but it's just not worth. Every single gray hair on this top of this head is probably from YouTube stress. And I don't want to die of stress. I can only imagine what my blood pressure is, because I haven't took my blood pressure in a while, and my stress level. It's probably through the fucking roof. Like, they had to take my blood pressure whenever I gave blood last Christmas, and surprisingly, it was low. I was astounded how low it was. And I was like, oh, it's not higher? And you guys saw how low it was. And I was like, oh, well, thank God it's that low. So it's probably not as high as I think it is, but it's probably gotten higher due to all this stress, So I hope things get better. I hope they don't get worse. That's why I was kind of afraid to do this live. I was like, should I do it? I said, well, Fears, just get it off your chest. And I'm like, no one can make you shut up, So there's that. I'm kind of jumping around here, but so back to the Larry stuff. So I don't know what his deal is. I don't know why he's so obsessed. He used to be a cool fan, and then I guess a long time ago I blocked him, and he sat in the shadow for years. So I don't know if it's payback for me blocking him so many years ago, because he's been there, I guess, since the very beginning or whatever. And then I unblocked him, and then for years he was fine. And then the minute recently, within the last 2 years, the timing out, blocking, unblocking, timing out, blocking, and then the third time, and then the whole zoo shit. I don't know if the fears you hate the zoo was like the camel that broke the, or if that was the needle that broke the camel's back. It was just I had enough. I seriously doubt him saying. I'm trying to think back. I just got so sick and tired of his bullshit, because he loves to push people. I've watched him. Like, I hope Zach doesn't get mad. Zach called me for a week. Whenever Zach was going through all that stuff, he said, Fears, Larry is contacting me a mile a minute. He's contacting Dave. And I said, I know he is. He has literally begged Dave at least 50 times for my new number. I don't know how many times he's asked Zach for it. So this was a couple weeks ago whenever he did block Larry, and then I said, I really wish you never would have unblocked Larry. So he was there. Zach got a little taste of it. Larry loves to push people. Larry relishes in being a troll. He loves it. If he didn't love it, he wouldn't have fearsman.com. I'm telling you guys know I'm telling the honest to God truth. If you're honestly sitting there at home and you're honestly processing, you have a brain, so if you're honestly processing what Fears is saying, you know I'm telling the honest to God truth. Larry loves it. He cherishes it. He relishes in it, and he thinks of new ways to fuck with me. And I've done the complete opposite. I'm like, Larry, I'm done. I've separated myself. I said, I'm blocking him. I've tried everything, and he keeps coming back for more. I used to be in the Discords a lot. Now I just jump in there here and there. So that was the first step. I said, oh, Larry's in there. I'm not going to go in there as much. I jump in the Discords maybe once or twice a month just to get some memes and just say, hey, what's up, everybody? How you been? And then Larry, I guess, because he sent those nudes out and all that. You know what? That's the only time that people held him accountable, for the nudes. So I retract that. That's the only time that anyone has ever said, hey, Larry, that was fucked up. But here's the thing. Kate's a very sweet girl. I doubt that was her nudes. I don't believe it. I think that was an elaborate scheme that Larry made up to start some more bullshit. So I don't think Kate would honestly do that. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I just don't see her doing that. I don't know her that well. Nobody. And I told that to Zach. I said, Zach, you relish these people. I said, you should love your loving and loyal fans. But I'm like, Zach, in the end, I'm like, you don't know who Yakov is. You don't know who Kate is. Like them in real life. I said, the only people that I know for a fact in real life is Joey, because I met Joey. And we hashed it out. But I was ready to fight him. And Joey will tell you, I had my fist clenched behind that door. I was ready to, whether I win or not, I was like, oh my God, this crazy guy is at my house. I had my fist clenched behind the door. I was ready to rock and roll. And you guys can believe me or not, he'll tell you. And I slammed the door and I said, I'm calling the fucking police. And I was so pissed. I was walking back and forth right over here. And I was like, I'm about to open this door and deck this kid. And then he said, Fears, open the door. Like, I know you're pissed, that I showed up at your house, but he goes, I really just want to make amends. And I opened the door. I said, what do you want? And then I didn't mean to shout at his girlfriend. I said, are you filming? Because she had her phone like this. Maybe she was filming. Maybe she wasn't filming. I guarantee you Joey brought her because he probably didn't want to show up alone in case something did happen. I guarantee you. So I'm glad it didn't end up in a fight. Yeah. Now the Dragon Zeron thing, I don't know why he showed up at my house. Probably because he got the information from Joey. I hadn't talked to Dragon in years. Whatever Dragon said, like, oh, we were going to fight, that never happened. People thought he was going to. Literally, he knocked on my door, and I didn't know anyone was coming. I opened the door, and I was like, hello? And I didn't even recognize Dragon because I hadn't talked or seen of him in 5+ years. So it took me a minute. I was like, he's like, hey, Fears. And I was like, hey. And I kind of went like that. I was like, Dragon? And he's like, yeah. I said, oh, hey, man, what's up? And I didn't invite him in right away. I was like, what's up? I'm like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I hope you're not too pissed, Fears. And I told you guys the whole story. He's like, I said, how did you get my address? And he's like, oh, I got it from Joey. I said, oh, okay. I said, yeah, that makes sense. I said, he was here not too long ago. And he's like, well, can I come in? He goes, I'd really like to talk to you. And I was like, sure, man. And then we squashed it. So whatever he said about him trying to fight me or me trying to fight him, I didn't try to fight him, because I would have been ready. So whoever made up that rumor, I didn't fight it. I was ready to fight Joey, Oh, yeah, because me and him have been fighting for years. But I'm glad me and Joey hashed it out. And now I haven't had a problem from Joey at all. So I'm glad it worked out. I really am. And Joey was nice. Him and his girlfriend were very nice people. But we sat down for at least 2.5 hours. And then after we squashed it, he actually apologized. He goes, Fears, I've been wanting to apologize for a while now. He goes, I took things way too far. And I was like, hey, thanks, man. I'm like, what did I ever do to deserve all that shit, though? I said, I didn't deserve any of that. And he's like, honestly, he goes, it started off as just like meaningless pranks. And then I just kept upping the ante and upping the ante and upping the ante. I was like, dude, I'm like, you've been giving me shit for years. I'm like, I didn't deserve any of that, man. I said, do you know how much grief you've caused me? And he was like, yeah, I can only imagine. I said, and he's like, that's why I wanted to apologize. I said, but why are you here? And he's like, well, we were visiting family, and then I got your address from somebody. I was like, oh, yeah, of course. And he's like, well, since we're in the neighborhood, let's just. But I said, do you think it's right to come to someone's house? And he's like, not really. And I'll be honest, Joey barely said 2 words. He's quite quiet in real life. So I had to, kind of force the conversation out of him. Or not force. I had to ask him questions because unless I asked him a question, he just kind of sat there and said nothing. So I asked him questions. His girlfriend was more outgoing. So I'm glad it all worked out. So that's another rumor. I was ready to fight Joey. I'm glad I didn't because I probably would have been in jail. But Dragon, I was never going to fight. Dragon didn't, come at me or charge me or any of that. So anyway, back to Larry. So I don't know what Larry's angle is. Well, I kind of do. He wants to annoy the hell out of me. He wants a reaction. And again, if you guys are honest with yourselves, this is how much I've done to Larry. And Larry's about right here on how much he's done to me. He's called me every name in the book. He's called me stupid. I can't read. I'm this, I'm that. He's put all my address out there. He's put all this information out about me. He's wished death upon me. Said I should jump off a cliff. He harassed me for 6.5 months. Every single day, he left some disgusting, graphic message. It was disgusting. Every single voice message. It was terrible. He's made stupid shorts about me. It's ridiculous. He just needs to grow the fuck up and leave someone alone. Like any normal human being would be like, oh, okay, yeah, Fears blocked me. Fears doesn't want to talk about me. I probably should just leave him alone and, yeah, just end it right there. But no, he has to keep upping the ante and upping the ante. So have I been upping the ante? No, I haven't. He's made everyone think I'm this horrible person, and I'm not. Excuse me. I never wanted any of this to happen. And if you guys are honest with yourself, you guys know I'm a good person. Am I perfect? No. No, it is. I know exactly. When I was talking to Visions, he pointed out, Fears, I know you're a good person. He goes, and I said, well, thanks for always, being a good friend. And, we're always joking around, me and him. And I know people are like, oh, Fears, you're his boyfriend. He knows that's not true. We just give each other shit. I do think of him as a really good friend. And he's like, oh, Fears, you're a great friend. And he said something really good. I know what my problem is. I need to work on my patience. I need to work on my temper. and I need to give people more of a sporting chance. Like, and I've been doing that a little bit. Like Blue Khaki said, well, fears don't always like block someone, so I've gotten better at that. But I hope he doesn't mind if I wasn't gonna read this, but he said something very nice. And Visions has always been my buddy, and he's always been a fan. So it was very nice what he said. So I hope you don't mind, Visions. If he's watching, I don't know who's watching. 16 people are watching. Or wait, let me refresh the page. But it was 16 people. It was very nice. So I just said, hey man, I haven't given up. I'm taking a break from streaming, working on projects. And he said, oh, that's good. Glad you're staying busy. Then I said, yeah, I need a break from this community. I said, so much drama, this Yak and Larry bullshit, and the rest of it. I said, but I'll be back at some point. So yeah, I haven't given up. I said, Visions, I said, I know you don't believe in God, but I was praying the other night and I was asking, why do I get all this drama? I said, I hope things get better soon. I said, thanks for always being a good friend. Later, buddy. And he said, Fears, I think you get attention from people because you have a unique personality and you put most of your life online. And then he says, I think as long as you continue to post anything on social media in a public setting like YouTube, people are going to pay attention. And so I said, I said, you do make a good point. I said, I just wish it was good attention and not drama. I said, I guess I have to pick and choose what I want to put online. And then I said, I try my very best not to get angry. I said, it's very hard. I said, I wish I didn't have low patience and a temper. And then I said, well, I'd like to think my personality is good. I said, I mean, I love my friends. I love my family. I love movies. And I try to show my passion for everything that I do. So I do like my personality. The only thing about my personality that I don't like is that I wish I had more patience, and I hate that I have a temper. And then I also should have. So I said all that, but I wish I would have added, I love to make people laugh. I love to make people laugh. I like to laugh with people, and I love to make people laugh. And then he said, well, at least you understand what's going on. That's a good step. Personally, I think you're entertaining because you are who you are. But yes, I think patience and understanding and trying to control tempers will go a long way. And then I said, well, you've always been a good friend, Visions, and I'm glad you enjoy my content. I said, you've been here almost since the beginning. I always try and work on my patience and my temper. And yeah, I know what's going on. I just have to ignore as much of the hate as possible. And I do my very best. I really do. I said, but it's very hard. I said, like today, I put on some nice music and I did some meditation for about an hour. And that was yesterday. I did. For about an hour, I just sat in the middle of the room over there and I just put on some meditation because my friend suggested it. And I said, at this point, I'll fucking try anything. I said, because I'm so sick of people's bullshit. And he didn't respond. I said, all I can do is my best, and that's all that anyone can ask. I said, I know I fuck up sometimes. Life is hard is an understatement. You know, so I appreciate him saying all that. And he did make a good point. Like, he said, as long as you... I put a lot of myself online. But I don't put everything out online. I'm so sorry about my cold. It's... Ugh. So he made some very good points. So I was gonna bring that up, but it proved my point with all the Larry stuff. Larry could have stopped this a long time ago. And if you guys are honest with yourself, you guys know I'm telling the truth. He could have stopped this a long time ago. Like, a sane person would be like, all right, well, you know what? I pushed Fears, and I pushed him, and pushed him, and pushed him, and pushed him, and pushed him. But he's not budging, so I guess I should just leave him alone. A sane person would have said that. But what Larry's done is absolutely insane. Insane. I haven't done a quarter of what he's done. Like, I didn't find out his number. I wish I would have. I wish I would have found his number, but I'm not that type of guy. But he found my number. He's done all this. Then he went the dis. I don't care if Quentin owns fearsman26.com. I don't care if Quentin owns fearsman.com. Whenever I make a channel, I'll just do something else, Fearsman or Fears Vlogs related. I don't care. But to put stupid videos on it and he's relishing in it, he's just a friggin' baby. Like, oh, Fearsman26. Oh, fearsman.com. We're going to up the ante. Like, I don't care. I don't care that you own it. I don't. You're an immature little baby. And he always will be. He's a 55-year-old man sucking on Mama Tate's tit. You know? He's a 55-year-old sucking on a little baby bottle. I'm so sick of his bullshit. He just needs to grow the fuck up. And I don't care if he hears that. You can run off and tell him. I don't care. I am so sick of Larry Tate's bullshit. It's ridiculous. You know? No one deserves the amount of crap I've had to go through. I've explained it to Visions. I explained it to Randy. I've explained it to Yak a few times. I'm like, why does everybody think I'm always so angry? Because nobody ever lets up. I've said it to Randy 1,000 times. I've said it to Visions 1,000 times. And I'm just using those two as an example. I'm like, they never let up. Like back in the olden days, at least the trolls gave me a break. They'd be like, oh yeah, we'll troll Fears for about 10 months and then we'll give them a break. And they would. Months and months and months would go by and nothing would happen. But the last couple of years, they just never let up. And Larry, I've already realized that he will never give up. Like, I don't know if he wants me to unblock him. That's never going to happen. He needs to, I'll do a Fears classic quote. He needs to get it through his thick fucking skull that I will never unblock him. Because I'm done. He's done too much. And I'm trying not to make fun of him. But he's just done too much. Like, and I keep not hashing. I keep rethinking of what my dad said. He goes, John, my dad's the one that made me change my mind about Moody. Like, I remember Yak saying, oh yeah, for a while, you know, he blocked him and then they made up on good terms and then Fears came back. My dad was like, that's so stupid, John. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, why in the hell would you want to be friends with that guy that called our house and harassed us? He goes, if I was you, he goes, I would block that guy. I'd never be his friend ever again. So my dad's the one that convinced me to reblock Moody. He goes, I would reblock him, get rid of him. I would never talk to that guy again. And that's why I did it. So whenever I blocked Larry, I said, I've given Larry so many chances. I'm going to take my dad's advice. If he fucks you over once, he'll fuck you over again. I'm like, I'm done. So I did the more responsible thing. I blocked him. I tried to walk away, and he just won't give it up. And you guys know he's done more to me than I've done to him. If you're honest with yourself. I wish we could all get along. That was my next thing. I really wish that we could get along, but we can't. You know? I wish that me and Mike wouldn't have had that argument. And I'll tell you guys, well, no, I shouldn't, because he said he didn't want me to say it over again, so I'll respect his wishes. What I will say is, I hope Mike changes his mind one day about reconciliation, because I love his content, and I loved us hanging out. We had a fucking blast when it was me, Dave, Tina, Mike, Zach, I think James. Yeah, James was there. At Jeff's convention, we were all filming. One of the best moments happened in, well, it's going to be happening in my vlog once I upload it. It happened in Zach's, and it happened in Mike's, when Jeff came out and said, Fears, you got to get this for your vlog. He goes, Zach, Mike, you can film it too. He goes, I just got these fucking new glasses you can take pictures with. Jeff, I wish Jeff would have told me the most amazing thing. Yeah, pictures are cool, but I threw on the fucking glasses, and at the end of it, once everybody stopped filming, I said, oh, I wish you could film with these. He's like, Fears, you can. I said, Jeff, why didn't you tell me? I said, I would have walked around the fucking con and clicked it, and I would have filmed some shit for you. And Zach would have got it for his vlog, and I would have got it for my vlog, because I handed my camera off to someone when I was trying on Jeff's new high-tech glasses. And he's like, oh, my bad, Fears. He's like, next time you come to the con, he goes, I'll let you film with my glasses. I was like, yeah, man, that's like some futuristic shit. I said, I would have filmed with your fucking glasses, walked around the con. I said, you could have uploaded it on Florida toy shows and expos, and I would have took out the little memory chip and got the footage, and I would have put it on my fucking channel too, because I said, buddy, I said, Jeff, we're buddies, and I said, anything I can do to promote your business, because I love your fucking cons, and we're good friends. He's like, next time, Fears. But my example is I wish that someday Mike will change his mind. If he never changes his mind, I wish him well. But what I'm bringing that up is we as a group, we were having so much fun. We were cracking jokes at Ruby Tuesdays. That was Mike's first time at Ruby Tuesdays. It may be his last. But that was my whole thing of trying to get Mike to come out. I just did it wrong, and I guess people were pissed off. I was like, as long as we reconcile, it should be okay. I guess it's not. You know, I wasn't trying to force him, but I really want to reconcile with Mike, because he said some things, I said some things, but I'm like, let's just put all that aside and let's just get back to the good times. So I'm not going to, out of respect for him, I'm not going to tell you guys what happened, because he doesn't want me to, but I hope he'll change his mind one day. And we can, if he doesn't, then I wish him well, and I'll still watch his content, because his content is beyond belief fucking amazing. I love his content. I love his intros. He's a great editor. And he's actually better than me. So I'm giving him a compliment. So Mike's going amazing places. I wish him well. So I loved him as part of the group, and I hope one day he comes back to the group. And he's still always welcome, you know. But if he never comes back, and Dave and Zach want to hang out with Mike one day, I'll be like, hey, you guys go off and hang out with him, and you know, you can leave me for a day, and because I know he's still friends with Dave and Mike. I mean, I'm sorry, Dave and Zach. So yeah, I may have to make a new cup of coffee, because that one's getting cold. It's still a little lukewarm, because I told you guys I had a lot to talk about. So there's that. I just thought, well, since I'm talking about everything, I might as well just talk about everything. So I hope one day me and Mike can reconcile. If not, I wish him the best of luck. You know, it's great that Zach's going to call me tomorrow. I was going to give him a week, but someone said, hey, Fears, I didn't see this part in Larry and Yak's, whatever the hell they call their show. Someone told me, said, hey, Fears, good news. And I was like, oh, God, what now? And I'm not going to say who this person was. They said, hey, looks like Zach's going to call you tomorrow. And I was like, oh, that's good. I said, I was going to give him a couple days. And I called him today. Or not today, it's Monday. I called him yesterday just to say, hey, I left him a very nice voice message. And I said, hey, Zach, dude, I said, I hate that we've been butting heads. And I said, I told him the reason why we were butting heads. I said, hey, man, I said, I really didn't like you putting me down. And you guys saw it. He was putting me down. Whenever the live goes on, he was putting me down. He called me Trump. I didn't like that. I'm not Trump whatsoever. I don't like Trump. Then when we were riding down the road, he said, God, Fears, you're desperate. No, I'm not desperate. I said, Zach, I said, I'm not desperate. I said, I'm running out of time. I said, dude, I'm 42. I said, I want to have a family of my own. I said, I want to have a Mrs. Fears. I said, I want to have children. I said, I want my brother to be a really cool uncle to my children. And I said, you can't do that without a lady. And I said, I don't want to die alone. I said, obviously I'm not going to die alone. I'm always going to have my friends and my family. But I said, I want a lady. And I said, I don't need 50 hot sluts. I said, I want one nice Mrs. Fears. I don't think I'm asking for much. You know, everybody else gets to have a good life but me. And it's ridiculous. I've tried everything. I have tried everything. I've tried dating apps. I've tried going out to coffee shops, it's so hard to find a lady. And and then before I turned off because I watched it for 30 minutes, Larry had the gall to say that I'm afraid of ladies. I am not afraid of ladies at all. I love ladies. I respect ladies. I've never. He was all going nuts saying I abused ladies and I've abused so many ladies in the Discord. No, I haven't. The only thing I've done to Kate and Jen is I called them the B word. That's just name calling. Now, again, it's bad. I shouldn't have called them the B word. Women don't like being called bitches. I get it. But I've never abused. I would say I've intensely had an argument with both of them. That's it. It was an intense argument and I called them some names. That was it. But I've never abused a woman. I've never hit a woman. I never will. That's not me. That's not John Fears. I've never abused a woman. So he was lying when he said that. And again, that's just another thing to tick me off. I've never abused a woman, ever. And I don't care what you guys think or what you guys say. That's the honest to God truth. I've never abused a woman, ever. And I never will. Ever. So, yeah. So, anyway. Let's see what's next. Let's see here. Anyway, so let's see. I talked about the mic thing. Oh yeah, Zach. So the reason why me and Zach have been butting heads, I really didn't like Zach putting me down, and I asked him, please, man, you got to stop that. You got to stop that. And then I swear on my life, I swear on my father's grave, I don't care what you guys say, and you guys know how much I love my dad. I did not rush Zach out of that fucking store. Dave went off to the CVS and he said, hey guys, like I need to get an antacid. I was like, are you going to throw up? And he's like, no. He's like, I think I'm going to go take a shit. And I was like, well, yeah, Dave, that's understandable. He's like, I said, but are you good though? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. And I couldn't believe, man, Dave took that like a champ. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, Dave, you are the fucking man, dude. I'm like, you are the hot sauce master. I cannot believe he did that. I know I'm getting off track here, but I got to give credit where credit's due. He's like, hey, Fears, a little of this hot sauce, a little of that hot sauce. I'm going to mix it. And he scooped out the middle of the fucking hot pepper. And he's like, and he looked right at the waiter. And he's all like, give me the most hottest thing on the fucking menu. I was like, are you sure about that, Dave? He's like, I'll be all right, Fears. I'm like, no, all right, whatever. Took it like a champ. But whenever we got to that special effects thing, I could tell that Dave was... I said, are you all right? He's like, well, I'm getting a little stomach ache, but I should be good. He goes, Fears, I've had hotter things than that, the bomb sauce. I was like, hotter than that? He was like, yeah. He's like, I'll be fine. He goes, I'll have a little stomach ache, but no worries. And he was exactly right. While me and Zach were in that special effects makeup place, I forgot what it was called, Dave went to CVS. He said, Fears, I'm going to use the restroom. I'm going to take an antacid. And he goes, you guys go film, do whatever you got to do in there. And just call me when you guys get out. And I'll either meet you guys at the car or I'll come back. So Dave never got to go into that special effects makeup. I went in there. I shoot very quickly. It was probably that makeup place was probably the size of my apartment out here. It wasn't a big store. I went in. I did my shots. Zach did his shots. And I think Zach just took it the wrong way. And I'm not making fun of him. I literally, you can hear it on camera. And I said, hey, Zach, I said, I'm ready to go whenever you are, buddy. What that means is when you're ready, I'm ready. That's not rushing someone. If I would have been like, hey, Zach, like, come on. You need to hurry up. You need to hurry up. That's rushing someone. I did not do that. I did not rush him. And I guess he took that the wrong way. And then he put all that negative stuff in the vlog. And I guess he felt rushed. And then I asked him, Zach, I have never put anything bad about my friends in a vlog. I said, if you don't keep it happy in a vlog, I said, trolls are going to, and your fans are going to, I said, one, trolls and your fans don't want anything negative in a vlog. They don't. I said, I don't either. I said, I didn't do anything wrong, Zach. I said, I did not rush you. I didn't do any of that. And I said, I'm just asking you, man. I said, can you take it out? And he said, well, Fears, it's already got lots of views. And I said, dude, I said, it would take you 5 minutes to take out all that negative stuff at the end of your vlog. But finally I said, fine, whatever, dude. I said, if you don't want to take it down, I said, just please don't badmouth me, and don't say that I rushed you when I didn't. Never again. All right, Fears, I won't. And then we kept button heads about what was the next thing. So there was that, and then I didn't like that we had a private conversation between me and Zach. And I never have to worry about Dave running off and telling the community stuff, because Dave keeps our private conversations between me and Dave. I had another conversation to Zach about, hey man, can you just, I tried once again to get him to edit the vlog, and then he wasn't going to do it, and I said, fine. And I said, I'm begging you, please, man. I said, just keep our conversations between me and you. And I said, you got to stop putting me down. I don't know why he puts me down, and he did say, yeah, I do that sometimes. I'm sorry, Fears. And I said, please. I said, it's fine, man. Just stop putting me down. And I guess he didn't like that conversation, and so he ran off and told Yak. Well, you know how Yak is. He's going to report on everything. And I'm thinking, why in the world did he run off and tell the whole community? Why? I said, that's going to cause more drama. And I'm like, well, here we are. So obviously I didn't like that, because I'm like, I keep my private conversations about my family, my friends, if there's any drama, to myself. I said, because it's none of your guys' business. You guys don't need to know everything. So I put a lot of my stuff on camera, but I don't put everything, Like even when I dated Casey, I told you guys some things, but I wasn't going to tell you guys every intimate part, because it's nobody's business. I'm just using that as an example. Now I could care less if she lived or died, because she's such a terrible person. Anyway, so I called Zach and was like, Zach, what are you doing? And so here we are. And I was like, and so I called Dave and told him, and Dave said, Dave, you know that if I tell you something, he goes, oh yeah, I know, John. I said, you would never tell anyone all that stuff. And I was also mad about what happened with the whole live and with Larry. I said, Zach, if you're honest with yourself, I said, he had his head in his phone the entire hangout, which really upset me. I said, we're supposed to be hanging out, and you're going through all this crap in the Discord. That's why, another reason why I don't like Discords. He had his phone open, shut, open and shut, open and shut. I'm just like, that's rude to James, Dave, and me. It is. It absolutely is. Whenever I hang out with my friends, I shut my phone up. The only time I had my phone on was during lunch, to film Dave's his hot pepper challenge. And my mom said that she was going to send me some emails and some pictures of my brother. And I've been waiting for an update. My brother's actually doing really well. Like, they got him on a better diet. He's getting more food. His muscles are starting to come back a little bit. Now he's allowed to get back into the gym. And I was like, oh, that's fantastic. That's wonderful. I said, that's awesome. I said, my mom's like, he'll still be a little skinny whenever you see him in April, John, when you come to visit. And I said, oh, well, at least he's not like as skinny as he was before, Mom. And she's like, oh yeah. So that's the only time I had my phone. I said, hey, guy, I said, I'm waiting for an email or a text or something from my mom. And then the other time was to film, but if I guess he didn't like when I told him, I said, Zach, none of that shit would have happened if you would have just stayed off your phone. I said, if you would have stayed off your phone, that live never would have happened, and then Larry wouldn't have called and all that crap. I said, if you wouldn't have been in your phone the whole time, I said, all that me getting angry with you and all that, and us headbutting in the live, because now that's out there. I guarantee you, he took it down, but I guarantee you some troll has it somewhere. I said, none of that shit would have happened, Zach. I said, you know it, I know it. So, and me and Dave had a conversation off air, and I said, Dave, if you're honest, he goes, yeah, Dave's kind of quiet about this stuff, but Dave said, yeah, I wish he wouldn't have been on his phone the whole time. I said, right, you know? So I'm not bad mouthing Zach, but that's the reason why we were headbutting and getting annoyed with each other. And so I'm glad he's going to call me tomorrow and we're going to talk about this and reconcile. Because I left him a very nice message yesterday. I keep saying today, it's Monday, but I left him a very nice message. And basically, I was on the phone and it went to voicemail and said, hey, Zach, I don't mean to call you again. I said, first of all, I said, all those people thought I was trying to ruin your live. I said, first of all, I said, I had no idea that you went live. I said, I barely got any sleep this last weekend, so I slept in because of all the drama and all the bullshit. So I said, I said, I called you once at 11 and then once at 3. So I think he started his live at 3 yesterday. So technically I only called him once and I texted him once because I called him at 11 and then at around 11:05 or 11:10 I texted him to see if he was available to talk. So then I waited till 3. So I only called him once in his actual live and I texted. As far as that's according to my phone. So let me look. So I called him and said, "Hey, I'm sorry about that." So let me go back. Yeah, so I'm sorry, 11:34. I'm sorry, I texted him twice, excuse me. So I called him once at 11, and then at 11:34 I sent him 2 messages. I said, "Hey man," I said, "can you talk really quick?" I said, "I tried to call. If you can't, I'll try it back later." So that was the first time. Then in his live, I sent him 2 texts. I said, "Hey man," I said, "are you available to talk now?" So I sent "Hey man" as one text. The other text was, "Are you available to talk?" And then I called him. So that was it. So I left a message and said, first of all, I said I don't care what all those other people think, Zach. I said I was not trying to interrupt your live. I said I had no idea that you were live. I said I know you go live a lot. So I said it's my bad. I should have I should have checked your YouTube before I called. I said I was just trying to get a hold of you. But I said anyway, I said I'm going to leave you this message and just listen to it. And I basically, I'm going to sum up what I said. I said, basically said, look, man, I said, I don't care about all the crap that happened before, all the Barnes and Noble stuff and us headbutting and all the stuff at lunch and, you on your phone. I said, I don't care about all that crap, man. I said, I'm so sick of us butting heads. I said, let's just squash everything and just start fresh. I said, look, I said, whatever I did, I apologize. I said, I'm going to be the bigger man. I said, I'll apologize. I said, I just want us to get back to being friends and doing epic vlogs. I said, let's just squash it. I said, I'm very sorry. I said, I was just trying to help you out. And I said, things got a little out of control. And I said, I am sorry. And I am. So if you guys don't think I'm telling the truth, I've been nothing but open and honest with you guys the entire time. I just didn't want the chat on because I had a whole bunch to stay, and I just don't feel like talking to the community right now. That's me being honest. And so I said all that to Zach, and I said, hey man, I said, I'm really sorry. I said, I just want to get back to us being buddies and doing epic vlogs. And I said, you're going places, Zach. I said, that's great. I said, I can't wait to hang out with you in the RV. I said, I won't be able to come to every single adventure. I said, because I got to work and I'm trying to find a better job and do my own thing. And I said, but man, I said, I can't wait I said, I love your vlogs, dude. I said, I can't wait to do more adventures here with you and Dave and Tina and everybody. And I said, I can't wait for you to do your own adventures by yourself and me watch. And I said, I can't wait for more lives. And I said, we still got to do the trivia things to hand out the second lantern poster. I haven't even had a chance to send Jucifer the lantern poster. I owe him because of all the crap that's been going on. I wrote Jucifer and said, hey, I'm sorry, man. I'll send it to you. Thank God Jucifer's a nice guy. He said, Fears, don't worry about it. And he literally said, I know you've been going through pure fucking hell, so send it when you can. I said, great, thank you. So I said, Zach, I said, I just want to squash all of it, man. I said, I want to get back to being friends, dude. And I know we're still friends because Zach would have already blocked me. He doesn't have me blocked on anything. And I even said, Zach, you've got a great heart, man. And I said, I wish I was more like you. I said, I wish I had more patience. I wish I was more forgiving. I wish I said, I wish a lot of things, but I said, I'm poorly made. I said, I don't understand why God made me this poorly. I don't know why he gives me all these crazy challenges, but I said, I just want to squash all the shit. And I said, I just want to get back to being buddies. And I said, so I've apologized. I said, if you feel like you owe me an apology, great. I said, if you don't feel like you owe me an apology, I said, that's great too. I said, just think about this message. And I said, I know you need some time. I said, I'll give you a couple days. And I said, if I don't hear from you by this Sunday, I said, next Monday or Tuesday, I'll give you a call. And that's pretty much what I said. So I'm very surprised that he's going to call me tomorrow. So I'm not going to tell you who told me that, but he said, hey, Fears, I was watching Yak and Larry's live, and he goes, at some point they said, Zach came in and said, well, I'm going to call Fears tomorrow, which is today, and we're gonna smooth things out and we're gonna squash it. And I was like, great. I said, I was gonna call him next Monday. I said, that's great. I said, that's awesome. I said, sweet, cool. So yeah, so I'm glad that's gonna happen. So yeah, I'm over the moon. So I'm so glad that's gonna happen. So I wanted to cover that. So, to recap, I'm not giving up. I'm going to continue my passions and my dreams. I'm not unblocking Larry. I'm not unblocking Jen. Kate's almost there, and so is Yakov. But I'm going to give Kate and Yakov another chance, because if I block Kate and Yak, I guarantee you all hell will fucking rain down upon. I mean, it's already that right there with Larry. So, because I know Kate is, I know she wants the best for me, and I know she's nice, but I just hate that. The only thing I hate about it is she will be nice to my face, and then I've watched in silence, and she says the most horrible things about me in other lives. I do not like that. And then I don't like the whole flip flopping thing that Yak does. I hate that. Like, I've never been like that. I'm like, either I like somebody or I don't like somebody. Clear, cut, and dry. That's how I've always been. If you fuck me over, then fuck you. You know, if you want to be friends, great. You know? And I'm like a 3 strikes and you're out guy. Because I learned that from my dad. My dad's like, why in the hell would you want to be Moody's friend again? Why? He goes, do you know how embarrassing it was to call? And he goes, he caused so much grief. My parents were pissed. They were pissed on how I acted. They were pissed that some crazy maniac from New Zealand called and disturbed my dad, and he was pissed. My dad was very calm on the phone, but he was angry, mainly at me, but he was angry at the situation. You know, people said I've been saying this for years. I don't care what those stupid trolls say. I did not get grounded. They made all that crap up. My dad grabbed my laptop and said, you're not getting it back. And I said, that's my property. I said, yeah, I am getting it back. And he goes, you think so? I said, I know so. And then he said, get out of my office. And so I said, okay. And I left his office. And then literally, my mom and dad went out somewhere. I don't remember where. And it took me around 30 to 45 minutes to search where he had hidden the laptop. I got it, and I left. We had a little conversation. Said, I already found my laptop, and I'm putting it back in my room, and that's it. And then we didn't really say anything, and so that was it. I don't remember the conversation that me and my dad had once I found it, because I think they went out grocery shopping. When they came back, I was like, well, I'm going to tell them the truth. I'm not going to lie. So I said, Dad, I'm just going to let you know. I said, I already found my laptop. I said, it's already back up in my room, and that's where it's going to stay. And then we had a conversation, and then he's like, I don't want anyone else calling my house, which people still did. And then we had to keep unplugging. Like, Quentin called my house. Moody never called again. But Quentin and a whole bunch of other people called. But that's really what happened. And I don't care if anyone doesn't believe me. That's the honest to God truth. So I never got grounded. So there's all that. I know I'm missing some information. I don't remember what conversation, but it took me 30 to 45 minutes, something like that, and I got my laptop, and it was that. So anyway, all right, what's next? So you guys already know I regret meeting this community. Now I wanted to explain that because like I said, I had a lot of stuff. So I'm looking at my cheat sheet. Some of this I had planned, some of it I did not have planned. So I'm trying to get it all in because I'm not going to work. I took the night off because I've been so stressed out of my fucking mind. I did text my boss. I said, "Are we busy?" And he's like, "Not really." And I said, "He's like, do you want to work?" I said, "No." And he was like, "Okay." He's like, "I'll see you tomorrow." I said, "Great." So yeah, we only had like 35,000 tonight, which is they can have that done in 2 to 3 hours. So that's quick. Again, I've told you guys since the very beginning, since I worked there, the less amount of boxes we get out of there early, the more, like when we had 150,000, I know, we weren't going to finish that. So whatever we don't finish, they push it on to the next night. So yeah. And Larry said so much about my job too. It's ridiculous. I've never said that it's a full-time job. I said I've been looking for a full-time job. Is it the best job in the world? No. But it's okay. It's not the worst job in the world, you know. I just don't want to be a package handler my whole life. I know God put me on this earth to do I don't know what, something like something more epic than that. I want to make a name for myself before I die, you know. So yeah, I just don't know what. I've been trying to figure it out. I wish I had all the answers, or I wish he could talk to me more and tell me the answers. But yeah, he hasn't so far. Anyway, or if he has, I just haven't been listening. I wish he could give me some sign that's, hey, it's gonna be okay, Fears. You know. Anyway, so let's see, what was the next thing? Oh yeah, so when I say I so regret meeting this community, it's half and half. What I mean by that is there are some wonderful people that I've met in the community. Not everyone's a troll, because then I would be lying. A lot of people, I love my loving and loyal fans. You guys are the best. I don't get a lot of fan mail, but when I do get fan mail, it's awesome, and I appreciate it. When I don't get a lot of donations, but when I do get donations, it's awesome, and I appreciate it. Larry lied and said, "Oh, he hasn't made any money." And Yakov actually called him and said, "No, you're a liar, Larry. He's gotten 3 paychecks." I may not get paid a lot on YouTube, but man, does it feel good when I do get paid for my work. So all those things are good, and so all the good people, I'm glad I'm in the community. But all the drama and all the bullshit and the he said, she said, let's act like friggin' 5 years old and troll fears and do roast streams and I'm gonna boycott him and I'm gonna make a channel and make all these bullshit videos. All that bullshit is like, it's like nails on a chalkboard. And I'm like, why am I in this community? It's so fucking stupid sometimes. So those are the reasons why I said, oh man, I wish I could just jump in a time machine and never meet this fucking community. In a way, the community has ruined my fucking life. I'm not kidding. I've told that to Yak. I said, I've gotten so much grief, and I said, they have literally ruined my life. And I'm not kidding. So there's days where I love my loving and loyal fan, and awesome, the community's awesome. And there's other days where I'm like this weekend, I'm like, I swear to God, I wish I never would have met this fucking community. So it's 50-50. Like, I've barely gotten any sleep. I've only gotten like cat naps on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because so much bullshit has happened. And Larry's the main cause of it. A little bit of Yak, because Yak helped Larry have his little bullshit platform, and it's just ridiculous. And I don't deserve any of this. I don't. No one deserves. I get it the most, and it's ridiculous. I've been saying it for years. People need to back the fuck off and leave me alone. I need to get some more coffee. I'll be right back. 2 minutes. Well, I ran out of coffee, so I need to use the restroom, guys. So I'm just gonna drink the rest of my soda. I'll be right back. 2 minutes. All right, sorry about that. Well, I thought I had some more coffee, but I guess I only brewed one pot of coffee because I went to go grab some more and I was out of coffee. So sorry about that. Anyway, um, I bought that soda the other day and never finished it. So anyway, let's see, where was I? Let me look at my notes. Uh, I guess I'm I'm trying to make my point that like um I'm just so sick of drama. YouTube has not been fun for years. It's fun sometimes. A lot of the times it's not. And again, if you guys are honest with yourself, Larry could have stopped this ages ago. I really hope I don't get in trouble for all this stuff I said. Like, I'm trying to be as professional about this, and I'm trying to be as level-headed, but I'm so stressed out. It's like nobody deserves this amount of hatred, all this abuse. It's cyberbullying. It is. I don't care what you guys say. It is. It's cyberbullying. He stalked me. It's insanity. Like anyone thinks that Larry is sane is fucking insane with him. Larry is not stable. He needs to be put in a fucking mental institution. I'm not kidding. If he went there tomorrow, I would be the happiest person. He is a friggin' nutcase. Beyond belief. He could have stopped it. He could have just been like, all right, well, yeah, Fierce doesn't like me. I guess I'll just watch in the shadows, and yeah, if he wants to block me. If somebody blocked me, I'd be like, okay, great, fine, I don't care. I mean, like when Jen said, oh, hey, Fierce, you lost a friend. I don't care, Jen. You're some random girl on the internet. I don't care. And to be honest, she made fun of me the entire time. So I'm like, well, that's just one less troll. Bye. Bye-bye. You're gone. And as soon as she said that, I blocked her. I don't care. I don't care. Wow. She wasn't my friend to begin with. If I'm being honest, she made fun of me every single day. So she's just as bad as Larry. A troll was a troll. Once a troll, always a troll. I've always said it. I can sniff a troll out a mile away. That's just how it is. They don't feel good about themselves, so they're like, he's a good target, she's a good target, whatever. I am so sick of people's bullshit, it's beyond belief. So, he could have stopped this a long time ago. And I wish he would have. I never, ever, 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 ever wanted it to go this far. I thought, okay, well, I said, if I block him, then he'll eventually leave me alone. If I get a new number, he'll eventually leave me alone. So now that he can't get to me through the phone, he's doing this show and all this other crap. And it's just ridiculous. I'm like, dude, and I'm not trying to bring his family into it. If I had a family, I would spend less time on YouTube. He's got a daughter. He should be focusing on his job, and he should be focusing on his daughter. Now, I'm not making fun of his family. He spends so much time as an older guy, like a 55-year-old guy, on YouTube instead of worrying about other things. It's insanity to me. I'm like, why are you so concerned about me? Like, just get over me. I'm one person. Like, get over it. I wish he would. I wish he would just move on. but he's that insane. So before I move on to the next topic, I don't know what's going to happen with me and Larry. I know what I'm going to do. I don't know what Larry's next move is, but my next move is if he ever comes to my house, I'm calling the police and I'm going to get a restraining order on. So he better not show up to my house ever. Because I will notify the police and I will show him all the crap online that he's been doing. Because I've been collecting evidence. I've saved some of his stupid short videos that he's been making. I've been, because my friends are like, collect some data to prove that he's been harassing you, Fears. And I said, oh, I will. Because I don't think he's going to stop. I want him to stop. I want all this bullshit to stop. It needs to stop. Like, people need to leave me the hell alone. You know, like, people are driving me nuts. It's insanity. So, but my next move is, like, I'm looking at my cheat sheet here. I need to take this break from streaming. So this will be my last stream for. I'm not going to stream for at least 2 weeks, at least, if not more. I've got so many projects that I need to work on. Yak gave me a great suggestion to like do some short films. I want to. I just haven't been inspired to write a script, or I haven't thought of anything. I told I'm gonna catch. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. I talked to Randall today, and so I've got an update about that. So I will catch you up with Randall. He made fun of me about that. Like, oh, Fears, you're not a good friend. You haven't gave Randall any money. There's a reason for that. I will give Randall some money, and I've explained it to you guys a million times, and I wish people would get off my back about that, but I'll get to it. So I've been collecting evidence, all the bullshit that Larry's been putting me through. So if I have to, once I call the police, and if he shows up at my house, I'm gonna be like, this is the crazy motherfucker that's been doing all this crazy shit, made me change my number, and I will get a restraining order on him if I have to, because this shit needs to stop. And he can make fun of me if he wants, but if I have to go there, I will, because he is absolutely insane. I'm not afraid of him, but he needs to leave me the hell alone, and he needs to back the fuck off. It's getting ridiculous. It really is. It's insanity. So that's, and then obviously I'm going to try to ignore him as much as possible, because Randall even said, Fears, you did the right thing. He goes, you blocked him, you timed him out, you gave him ample chances, you distanced yourself from it. He goes, if anyone should be mad at anyone, he goes, those people should be mad at Larry for putting you through so much shit. I said, you would think, Randall. I said, you would think. I said, I haven't done a tenth or like 50. I said, I'm here on what I've done to Larry, and Larry's way up here. And Randall's like, oh, I know, Fears. He goes, I've been helping my mom with a bunch of shit. He goes, but I've been watching in the shadows what they've been doing to you. Or he goes, or what Larry's been doing to you. I said, well, at least you're in my corner, Randall, excuse me. Well, Lantern's in my corner, but I guess it's 50-50. Like, Yak's somewhat in my corner, Lantern's in my corner, because me and Lantern are buddies, but Lantern is also in Larry's corner, because he's both of our friends. And I know Dave's got my back, and Zach's got my back. So I've got a lot of people in my corner, but I just wish Larry would just get it in his head that I don't want to be his friend. I don't want to reconcile. He's done too much. He just needs to move on and just leave people alone. You know, I'll say it again. That's why I'm always mad, because people will not leave me alone. They just keep at it and keep at it and keep at it. And I'm just like, I'm so fucking done with this shit. So, yeah. So Randall said, Fears, you did the right thing. He goes, just block him. Just ignore him as much as possible. I said, that's what I have been, Randall. But I said, the motherfucker just keeps coming back. I said, now he's got a show, and then now he's got a website. I showed Randall the website, and he went, Jesus, Fears, this guy's got problems. I said, you think, Randall? And he goes, how the hell did he get this? I said, he went online and bought it, and now he's got all this stupid bullshit on there. I said, he's just taking it way too far. I said, he's insane, Randall. And I said, Randall, even Yakov thinks he's insane. Which doesn't make any sense. He thinks he's insane, but then he gives yak off a platform to do his stupid bullshit show. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so that's what's going on with all the Larry stuff. So I'm going to move on to my next topic. So because I'm taking a break, one, I'm going to just get as much content up that I'm behind on as possible. So on a good note, I said, Randall, I said, I bet you I'm going to lose a bunch of subs, so that I'm going to take this break. He goes, no, Fears. He goes, because I've seen your shorts. He goes, some of your shorts get thousands of views. I said, actually, I said, right now, my shorts get the most, Randall. I said, my lives only get anywhere between 150 views to 200 views. I said, my vlogs get maybe anywhere from 80 views to 170 views. I said, the shorts, I said, whether I make them in AI or I said, I'll use a photo from my Facebook, like the most recent one. I took my old jack-o'-lantern, and D-Man said that he loved this one the most. He said, Fears, I'm like you. I love anything Halloween. He goes, make more Halloween shit. I said, okay. I said, well, I love Halloween, buddy. So I said, not a problem with that. And he said, yeah. He goes, you took your old Halloween pumpkin, and he goes, what did you say in AI? I just basically said, hey, make my old jack-o'-lantern pumpkin start to glow and intensify. I said, and then have the glow go away and make the whole glow turn green, and then have green fog shoot out of the eye sockets in the mouth. And that's what it came out. And he's like, oh, Fears, I love that. Make more Halloween shit. I said, okay, I will. I said, I'm going to make some more Fears Man shit. I said, D-Man, I said, did you see Fears Man saving D-Man the squirrel and feeding him corn and shit? And I said, and he goes, oh yeah, I loved it, Fears. And I said, well, I did that because you made all the squirrel videos of Fears Man saying, yeah, dude, I got my corn, you know? And he's like, did you like them? I said, I fucking love them. I said, make more, D-Man. I said, I love that you're not just making me. I said, I love that you're making all the squirrel videos of everybody, the entire community. The most recent one, he's got Pixel. Like, Pixel's tall, but, you know, he's very tall. So he made Pixel a massive squirrel with massive fucking muscles like the fucking Terminator. And he's literally playing video games saying, I need more fucking pylons and shit. I'm like, that's fucking genius. I'm like, that's genius. D-Man, I said, don't just keep making AI videos. I said, make the AI videos. I said, keep doing the fucking garden videos. And I said, when it gets warmer in Missouri, because D-Man's from Missouri, D-Man was one of the first people that subbed to me besides that Just a Mom lady from, Just a Mom lady is my first fan ever. She's been there from day one. She even commented on when I was in film school, and she would comment on all my film school videos that I would upload way before live streaming and all that crap. But D-Man was probably the second or the third fan. So he's been there from the very beginning, and D-Man and his wife have been nothing but nice. I forget what D-Man's wife's profile name is because she watches sometimes. D-Man watches me all the time. So D-Man's awesome. So I said, D-Man, I said, when it gets warm enough, keep up the real squirrel videos. I said, I like the real squirrel videos the best. But I said, I know it's cold right now in Missouri. So I said, do it all. I said, keep the fucking AI a-rockin', keep the garden videos a-rockin', and keep the fucking real squirrel videos a-rockin'. I said, that's your stick, that's your thing. And he said, oh, I will, Fears. So most of my footage right now, or my projects, has been just little shorts, because I'm not going to lie to you guys. I can't edit like Zach does. Zach says, Fears, I don't care if I'm mad, sad, glad, whatever. I just edit. And I'm like, I wish I was like you, Zach. I said, I cannot edit when I'm depressed or sad or pissed off. I said, I've tried to force a vlog out, and it just comes out shit. Comes out fucking garbage. And I said, I can't do it. Like, my life has to be in harmony to edit, to have it the best Fears Man quality that you guys love and know. So because I'll have more time on my hands, I'm going to try to get as many shorts out as possible. I'm still going to go on my walks. If I do go live, it'll be on my phone because I want to document, I want to continue my weight loss, but I'm not going to do streams like this for a while. I just need a break. I need to clear my head and just take a step back from the community. So if I do any lives, it'll be on my phone just to periodically check in, I guess. Yeah, stuff like that. But I'm going to focus on editing my vlogs, and then I called my friend. I'm not going to say which friend. I said, dude, I said, I need some. I said, we've been through thick and thin together. I said, he's like, Fears. He's like, you need to find a way to, like, relax more, man. And I'm like, dude, I said, I've been trying. I said, just people will never cut me some slack. I said, they never give me a fucking break. I said, it feels like I have to be perfect for them 24/7. I said, if I make a mistake, they talk about it for the next 20 fucking weeks. And he's like, are you serious? I said, I'm dead serious. I said, they find every minute fucking detail of my life. I said, if I accidentally drop a pen, they're like, oh, Fears, you're a fucking idiot. I said, these people are nuts. And I said, so if you make a mistake, they bitch about it. So he's like, Fears, he's like, you just got to find a way to relax more. So he sent me a website, and I'm going to try some of these. I've already tried one. I did the meditation today, and that was really nice. I did it for about an hour. I put on some nice soothing music, and I just sat in the middle. It said, I found a meditation orientation thing on YouTube where it said, a woman's voice is going to come on, and the woman's going to give you instructions, and then you're going to hear music. And she said, lay a blanket on the floor. So I went over there, and I literally laid my Ghostbuster blanket on the floor. She said, sit in the middle of the blanket, and I just plugged in my laptop over there on the floor, and I plugged it in. So she goes, have this right beside you. And she's like, we're going to do some breathing techniques. So she said, breathe in, breathe out. And then she said, I want you to pause the video and ask yourself some questions. So I did everything that she said. It felt great. So maybe meditation should be either a daily thing for Fears or a weekly thing. So it asked me a bunch of questions in this YouTube. I forgot the name of the YouTube video, but I have it saved because it was a great meditation. And she said, ask yourself why you have low patience. Ask yourself why you have a temper. And then she said, or whatever it may be. She goes, whatever your problem is, ask why, what's going on. And then she's like, all right, think about that for 5 minutes, and then hit the play button again, and we'll continue on. So then it was another 5 minutes. She's like, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And then she was like, think about all the stuff that you're thankful for. And it was nice. So it was very calm. And she said, so I turned off my phone. I turned everything off. And then she said, just be at peace with yourself. So that was nice. So that was the first thing on the list that my friend sent me. So my friend sent me this website, and it says 10 useful things to best ways to relax and de-stress. So I just wanted to read these. So it said, work on your breathing. It says deep breathing, inhale slow for 5 to 10 seconds, hold and exhale slowly to activate the body's relaxation response. It says progressive muscle relaxation, tense and then relax muscle groups starting from head to toe, flex your body. And then the third thing is some type of physical activity. Engage in exercise or yoga, dancing, walking to reduce stress and produce endorphins. So I kind of already do that. I just need to do it more. Like I need to be in the gym more, and I need to walk more. And then, so that's number 3. Number 4 is a warm bath or massage. A 15-minute massage or a warm bath can relax every nerve in the body. So it says stretching, simple neck stretches, shoulder shrugs, stretching jaw muscles can release physical tension. So stretching. Next is Mindfulness and meditation. So this is the one I tried. It said focus on the present moment to break the cycle of stressful thought. So I did that one. I went over there and did the meditation. Let's see the next one. I think there's more than 10, but my friend said there's at least 10 on fears on here that you can do. Spend time in nature. Visit a park, a garden, somewhere green, and lower stress levels. It said practice gratitude. Daily reflection on positive things can shift your mindset away from stress. It says be mindful of all the gifts in your life that you have. And I do that. I forget sometimes that I'm so blessed to have all these gifts like food and a job and an apartment and friends and family and stuff like that. Listen to music. Calm or uplifting music can reduce stress. So I did that today. So I basically mixed two. I did the music mixed with the relaxation meditation. So they said just listening to music could help because I do like music. I just don't like music as much as movies. I do like certain music though. It said it also has movies on here. It says do some type of activity that you love the most. Work on your passions. So my passions would be photography, editing, video stuff. It just says work on your passions, work on your projects, whatever you want to work on. And then the next one is relax, watch a movie. The next one's take a nap. Well, I've got that one locked and loaded. I've got the movies locked and loaded. It says reduce screen time. Take breaks from the news, social media to limit your stress level. So if it gets too that one I need to work on. Whenever it gets too stressful on YouTube, like instead of watching, I kind of did it last night. I only watched Larry's bullshit live for 30 minutes, and I said, why am I watching him make fun of me? I said, I'm just turning this off, and I turned it off, and I felt way better. So there's that, and then it said, so there's more than 10 on here, but you guys get where I'm going. My friend sent me this. It says, connect with others, talk with your friends and family. I did that a little bit today. I tried to call Zach, but I tried to talk to Zach, but I left him that message. I did talk to Dave. I talked to Randall today about all this, and they gave me some wonderful suggestions. I did talk to Visions last night, so he was very helpful as well. So I did that one. One says, learn to say no. Set boundaries to avoid having things come into your line. Learn to say no. Set boundaries to avoid negative things coming into your life. Well, I already do that on my channel. Like, I've already set boundaries. That's why, now obviously people set more boundaries than me. Like, I only have 2 rules. I'm like, no drama, no chaos. No drama, no chaos is one and the same. And then let's all get along in the chat, you know? So there was that. Let's see. So a lot of these I try to do. I need to do all of these though, because I need to relax even more, because I'm gonna have a heart attack before I'm 50. So Visions was right. I know what the problem is. I just need to fix it. It's hard though. I really try not to get angry. I hate this. Usually I've said it 1,000 times to Yak. I've said it 1,000 times to Randall. The best version of me is the happy-go-lucky Fears, and I want him to come back. I hope he comes back. I don't know if he'll ever come back, though. I mean, people have hurt my feelings so much, and people have bullied me so much, and stalked me so much, and caused me so much shit. I don't know if he'll ever come back. It's been a lot. So I hope he comes back. I really do, because I love that. I hate the pissed off Fears. It's like, I call that side instead of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, it's the happy-go-lucky Fears and angry Dr. Hyde, pissed off Fears, whatever you want to call it. Because once I hit that point, I'm like, all right, motherfucker, I'm taking you down. And you guys know when Fears is pissed, I say things that I shouldn't say. And Yak was right. I take things. If someone makes fun of me at a 10, I'm like, hey, guess what? You pissed me off. You're dead, motherfucker. And I usually throw it at them at a 250. So if someone trolls me at a 10, I'm like, all right, yeah, you're done. I'm taking your life away from you. And I troll them to about a 250. And I destroy their goddamn life, into oblivion. So, because when I get that mad, I'm like, all right, I'm done. No more happy-go-lucky fears. I'm taking you down. You pushed me to the fucking limit. It's happening, So, he was right about that. So, yeah, I need to work on that. Where was the next thing? So, I said, watch a movie, take a nap. I'm sorry, I was beyond that. Connect with others, talk with your friends and family, church, loving support. Here I was, learn to say no, set boundaries to avoid negative and unworthy things to come into your life that will give you stress. Learn to laugh more, watch a comedy, listen to a funny podcast, etc., etc. Organize your time better. Prioritize your tasks and break down large projects to make them more manageable. If stress becomes overwhelming, seek help from a mental health professional. And yeah, so that was like 15 to 20 things. I would rather do 15 or I really don't want to see a therapist. I've never. I know some people have been like, Fears, you should talk to a therapist. It's just it's very hard for me to open up. Like, this is hard for me to do. So it's easier because you guys have known me for a long time, but it would be hard for me to open up to a therapist. I don't know. It's just, I'm good sometimes at expressing my thoughts and feelings, and sometimes I'm not. Like, whenever I dated Casey, as evil as she was, whenever things were going good, I opened up to her a lot because we spent a lot of time together. I wish she wouldn't have fucked me over and wasted my time, but it is what it is. Anyway, so I just wanted to read those to you. So I'm going to try and work on those. So I wanted to tell you guys that I have, now that my friend sent me that website, he's like, I care about you, Fears. He goes, I love your vlogs. I'm not going to say which friend this is. He goes, Fears, I care about you. I love you, man. He goes, you're a great friend. You're a great person. He goes, I love the happy-go-lucky Fears. He goes, I love your videos he goes, the best version of Fears is when I see him like donating all the food to the Thanksgiving stuff and the happy-go-lucky Fears saying, I'm going to donate, me and Dave are going to donate all those toys to the needy family. He goes, that's the Fears that I know. That's the Fears I love. I want to see more. He goes, I want to see the Fears pumping out like a video every fucking day. Going nuts, happy-go-lucky Fears, going ballistic, laughing, hanging out with his buddies, talking about his job. Hey man, I got a promotion. He goes, that's the fucking Fears that I want to see. He goes, Fears, I don't want to see you like get emotional and all this stupid bullshit. I said, I try not to, man. I said, even though they're idiot trolls, they're like smart idiot trolls. Like they're a master at their fucking troll craft. I said, I don't know what you want to fucking call it. It's like an art form for them. And he's like, oh, I know, Fears. He goes, people online are going to be fucking assholes. And he goes, I don't even know that Larry guy, and I know he's a fucking asshole. I said, yeah, but I said, you're forgetting one thing. He's like, what's that? My friend was like, what's that, Fears? I said, he's a psychotic fucking asshole. And he goes, oh, well, Fears, an asshole's an asshole. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just saying, he's beyond an asshole. He's a psychotic asshole. So I'm going to work on all that. So I'm going to work on those things from that website that my friend sent me. So to my friend, thank you for all those. That was at least 15 to 20 things that I'm going to do. So I'm going to try all of those. Probably the most I'm going to do is the exercise stuff and the meditation and watching a movie and working on my projects and stuff. But all these are good. I'm going to try at least all these. Like a warm instead of a warm bath, I'm not really a bath guy. I'm a shower guy, which that'll still be good too. I'm not a bath person. I wouldn't mind a massage, but massages are really expensive. But the last time I got a massage it was in Missouri. It's been a while, but I wouldn't mind getting a massage. I heard they're very relaxing, so I wouldn't mind getting one of those. But a nice warm shower is very relaxing because I got to figure out something. I can't fucking live like this anymore. It's something new every day. It's trolling and fucking with Fears' life and all the pizza bullshit and all that other crap. And I'm just like, I just want all this shit to stop, man. I'm like that's why I haven't. God, when's the last time I edited a video, like a proper video? It was, let's see here, on Fears Vlogs. It was literally a month ago. It was a month ago, and then on Fears Man, it was because I don't count the shorts as like proper videos. Like literally, I just like either upload a photo, some music on it, or hey AI, take this fucking pumpkin and do this, or hey, make this picture of Fears Man do this, blah blah blah. Which, by the way, D Man loved the new one. I'll play it for you guys. It was awesome. Like I took an old picture. I think Randy made this picture of Fears Man in front of a haunted house. I can't remember if I made this or if Randy made it, but basically it had me in like one of the first concept AI photos that I made or Randy made of Fears Man. And I was like, holy shit. I'm like, that's kind of the best version of the Fears Man suit I've seen in a while. And then my friend Nathan from high school said, hey, Fears, I made you something. And he made the first proper AI video. And that's the one up here on the right-hand corner. That's the one I have in a frame. And I got it big because Nathan said, Fears, I worked really hard on this AI video. He goes, dude, I've known you since the 8th grade, and you've been telling me about Fears Man since the 8th grade, buddy. And because I made Fears Man, the actual character Fears Man, way before the 8th grade. I made him in 2nd or 3rd grade, something like that. And he's like, Fears, I've known you since the 1st grade. So he's like, I heard, he goes, remember like when we were kids? And I said, yeah. He goes, I remember in 2nd and 3rd grade, you told me a little bit about Fears Man, and then we had to do that superhero project. He goes, but you really told me a lot about him in the 8th grade. And I said, yeah. I said, I remember bits and pieces. And he said, well, I don't know what made me think to make this. He goes, I think you showed me one of your earliest cartoon like short films, and he made me that first AI. So that one on the wall was the first AI photo of Fears Man. And then later on, that girl painted a picture of Fears Man, and that's the one over there. And her little painting was like, I don't know, this tall and like this wide, and I blew it up. So I don't have the original. She sent me a picture of her painting of Fears Man. And I said, oh, are you going to send me the painting? She goes, no, I spent a lot of time on the painting. So she's like, I'm going to send you a picture of my painting. I said, oh, that's okay. I said, hey, do you mind after you send me that photo? I said, can I blow it up and put it on my wall? And she's like, oh, go for it, Fears. I said, great. I said, I want to show the fan. I said, I love any type of fan artwork of Fears Man I'm going to throw on my fucking wall. So I found this old photo, and this one literally got 1,300 views. And it's literally just Fears Man in front of, so if you guys haven't seen it, go to my shorts on Fears Man 26. It's literally Fears Man standing in front of a haunted house. He smiles, he bends down, gets ready to leap. He leaps up with a pumpkin, flies through the air, lands on the moon, and puts a pumpkin on the moon. And then it says Happy Halloween, and that got 1,300 views. The latest ones I've done, I made a dark version of Fears Man with him with a hood. And I think you guys have only seen Fears Man's eyes glow in Fears Man episode 4 or 5, whenever he uses his laser eyes and lasers the zombies that Black Aldrin uses to regenerate the zombies and have them pop out to try to kill Fears Man. I think that's the only time you've ever seen his eyes light up. So I said, I'll make his eyes light up like he's about to shoot his yellow laser eyes. And so that one got 1,100. So I'm glad that people like Fears Man. It's not just me. I recreated, I had a picture of my best friend, me and Eric, on my Facebook. I had a picture of whenever I went to go visit Eric, he made this awesome fire in his fire pit. And so I took that photo and I blacked out everything in the background, and I tried to remake the fire that turns blue in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that got 300 views. And then I can't believe this one got this many. I took the most crappiest version of Jaws. So Jaws 1 is great. Jaws 2 is pretty good. Jaws 3 is okay. Jaws 4, The Revenge, is the most horrible piece of fucking garbage I've ever seen. But I had to watch it because it's in the Jaws thing. And I made the Blu-ray cover come to life. So I have the actual Jaws hop out. He puts his head on the edge of the boat and he swallows the woman in the white dress, or the white outfit, and that got 1,300. So the shorts have been rocking. I found a picture of Jason's mask laying on the ground, and so I said, hey, can you make it rain and have water drip off of the Jason Voorhees mask lying in the woods? And that was just a photo. So I'm going to continue the shorts, and I'm going to continue to work on my vlogs and stuff that I need to get up. I am going to, when Jim comes back from his vacation, I am going to interview him, and then I'm going to try to interview my acting friend Billy after that. And then probably by that time, it'll be time to, I haven't decided. I'm definitely going for my nephew's party. My mom's like, well, how much time can you get off? I said, depending on, I said, I have to tell my boss right away. And because it wasn't a spare the moment trip, but I said, Mom, I'm going to try to take 2 trips. I said, I am so stressed out of my mind. I didn't tell her why. You guys know why. I said, I need a vacation like just for me, Mom. I said, I want to go somewhere and just lay on a beach, get some footage, do some lives, get some photography. I said, I said, I love the family, but I said, I'm about to explode from stress. I said, I don't even care. I said, Mom, even if I stayed here in Florida and just relaxed at a Disney resort, I said, I just need to get away. And my mom was like, I think that's great, John. She's like, do you know where you're going to go? I said, no. I said, I got a couple ideas. But I said, I've been saving up my money. I said, I want to take a trip. I said, obviously, I'm not going to miss the little guy's first birthday. I said, I love the little guy. I said, I miss Enzo. And then she's like, you should do a live, when you're here and like show your fans, like take Enzo for a walk. I said, I can do that. I said, I love Enzo. I said, he's my buddy. I said, Mom, I tell my fans all the time about Enzo. I said, they love Enzo. I said, my friend Kate thinks Enzo is the most adorable fucking dog ever. I said, they know how much I love Enzo. I said, that's not the problem. I said, the problem is, Mom, I said, I don't want to tell you too much, but I said, they find something every day to make fun of me about. And she's like, well, do you ignore them? I said, I try to ignore them as much as possible, but I said, they're always on my ass. And then she's like, why are they so hateful? I said, like, they just pick apart your life. I said, not everyone's hateful. Excuse me. And I didn't want to tell my mom everything, so I said, I need a break, Mom. So I said, yeah. I said, I'll definitely be there for the little guy. I said, I don't want to miss his first birthday. And she's like, everybody misses you. I said, I miss you guys. I said, I will be there. I said, I promise. So I'm probably gonna stay for. Let me look at my calendar. My mom's like, well, his birthday is so close to Easter, John. She's like, why don't you stay for Easter? I said, I can do that. So I'm not gonna tell you guys when his birthday party is because I don't want any trolls to do anything to my family or his birthday party or any of that crap. So I'm gonna be gone for that, and then I'll probably stay for Easter as well, and so I'll be back probably sometime after Easter. I'm not telling you guys when I'm leaving because it's no one's business. Um, but while I'm there, I'll try to do some lives and stuff and all that. So that's the type of stuff I'm going to be working on. But I don't know when I'm going to come back to streaming. I definitely am going to take, let's see, let me look at my calendar. So I wasn't going to even stream today. I just said, I've got to get this shit off my chest. I said, you know, um, I hope Yak will seriously consider not doing that Larry show anymore. It's just so fucking retarded, so dumb. Because that hurt my feelings. I said Zach. I'm sorry, not Zach. I said Yak. I said finally our friendship was getting back on track and everything was going great. And I was like I loved having Yak back on my podcast, and we were just shooting the shit. I don't know what his deal is between him and LC because he was kind of giving LC some shit, and I was like, I said, is everything all right? And I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm like, leave me the hell out of this shit. I'm like, you can fight with LC. I'm like, I'm cool with LC. I'm cool with Yak. I'm like, leave me the fuck out of it. I'm like, I get enough fucking bullshit. I'm like, leave me the hell out of it. So yeah, but I loved having him back on the show, and then then he does all this bullshit with Larry. I'm just like, oh fucking hell. So my mom asked, how long do you want to stay? And I said, quite a while, actually, Mom. I said, I'll see how much time I can get off of work. I said, I need a break. I said, I cannot wait. She's like, you want to go to lunch? And I was like, of course, yeah, of course. She's like, I'm just asking. I said, well, Mom, I said, you're my mom. I said, I love you. I'm obviously going to take you out to lunch. She's like, well, I just thought, like, before his party, maybe we could take Shelton out to lunch, and, like, he's starting to walk a little bit. We could take him to the park. I was like, yes, that sounds great. I said, I can get some videos. I can get some photos for my brother, of him standing by a tree. I said, because I love photography, because my brother said, he goes, hey, man, when you come, he's like, can you take some pictures with your professional camera and give it to me and my wife? I was like, yeah, of course. I said, whatever you guys want me to do to help his party, I said, I want to be the coolest uncle of all time. I said, whatever you guys need me to do to help set up for the party, I said, I'm all in. So I said, you guys let me know. And so I can't wait. It's going to be not only is it going to be fun to relax and just hang out with the family, I may not even do any live streams. I may do one or two, because I know you guys will be like, hey, what's Fears up to? What's he doing? So I'll keep you guys up to date, because I do have some loving and loyal fans. I hope I have all my loving and loyal fans after this live stream. I just had to be honest with you guys, because it's a lot. I have went through pure hell, and it's crazy. I'm so glad for everyone staying to watch this whole thing. It's almost 6 in the morning. I'm not tired. I already slept, and I knew I wasn't going into work, so I was just like, this is the best chance to get everything off my chest. So that's what's going on with that. So I'll let you guys know more on the trip, but I'll get some good stuff. And I'm gonna film some of the party. Like, you guys loved the vlog when my brother and my brother's wife had the little. They didn't get to really have a reception party because my dad got really sick, so they were gonna have a big wedding reception, and my dad wouldn't have felt comfortable because he was so sick. He was like, I don't know if I have the strength to go to a wedding with 400 people and relatives. So my brother got married in my mom's backyard, and the priest came there, and I was there, and it was awesome. And then we had a tiny reception in my mom's living room. And so when I came, my mom's like, when I came, and my mom's like, hey, like, don't tell your brother, but we're gonna have a nice big, like, kind of like rehashing, if you will, of his wedding reception. And I was like, oh, I said, what, are we going all out? And my mom's like, oh, yeah, we're going all out. You guys saw that video. It was a great video. Everyone had a good time. I didn't get much of my brother and his wife because I was like, well, I want them to have their moment. So I didn't get any of them opening the gifts and stuff. But I got a lot of the party and I got a lot of the setting up and all that. It was a great. You guys loved that video, and or most people said they loved it, and so I'll try to get as much of Shelton's 1-year-old birthday party, as I can, because I'm sure you guys will want to see that. He's the cutest little guy ever. I mean, I love being an uncle. At least I'm doing one good thing right in my life. Like my brother has been like, dude, you're kicking ass as a great brother and a great uncle. And I was like, hey, thanks, man. I said, I know you would do the same for me if I had a kid. He's like, oh, yeah. He goes, the minute you find Mrs. Fears, he goes, I'll be the greatest uncle to, if you have a son or a daughter or whatever. I said, yeah. I said, hey, I appreciate it. So I love being a cool uncle. And you guys already know. I already told my brother, I said, there's just one thing. I said, I'll listen to any of your wife's rules or any of your rules to my brother. But I said, you absolutely have no say when it comes to Ghostbusters. And my brother was like, I know, John, I know. I said, the minute he turns 5 or 6, we're sitting down, we're having a whole fucking movie marathon. And my brother's like, yeah, you're good. And I said, no options on Ghostbusters, no options on Ninja Turtles, no options on Goonies. And I said, as long as we get a little, Predator and RoboCop and Terminator in there, and my brother's like, oh, yeah. He's like, yeah, that'll be all right. I said, okay, good. I said, everything else, I said, I'll let you, I said, I let mom and dad take care of, but I said, because I'm the fucking movie master, and my brother's not the movie master. I am the movie master. I don't care what anyone says, I am. So my brother's like, oh, yeah, you're good, and all that. So I'm like, oh, yeah, Shelton, watch out. Get ready to hit that couch and watch some cool movies with Uncle Fears. So I cannot wait for that. So, yeah, so I'll get as much footage on the trip as possible. But I told my mom, I said, either this year or next year, I've got to take a vacation for me. So that's another way to relax. So I'm going to work on that. Another thing I'm going to work on is applying to some more. I haven't applied for any new jobs in a while because of all this stress. So while I'm off not streaming, I'm going to try to apply for some more jobs while I'm still at my other job, because I don't want to be at that factory for the rest of my life, or that facility, whatever you want to call it, a factory, facility, whatever. So apply for more jobs, edit more, work on projects. I'm going to relax more. So that's the stuff I'm going to be working on. So, yeah. So, but I'll check in from time to time. I don't know. I don't know how long I'm going to not stream for. I said if I do stream, it'll be like a gym stream or a walk stream. I'm not going to do like these type of streams for a while, because today's the 2nd, so I may not stream until like, I don't know, it's at least going to be a week, at least. I need to take I need to take more time off. You guys know my dad's birthday is the 14th, so I'm definitely not going to stream on that day. That day will be too emotional for me. That's another thing too. Always in March, and always a little bit before March, I get grumpy because I'm always remembering, well, that's my dad's birthday. He's not here. So you guys have known that for a while. I always get grumpy around this time because I always think about him, but I think about him more. So people are just going to have to deal with me getting a little grumpy around this time. And Larry has been so mean to my dad. He's like, you swore on your father's grave and all that. And I'm going to be honest, I did, and I never took down lanterns. I was talking to Dave about this. I said, Dave, he is I said he's twisted my words around. I said I swore on my father's grave that I would never do anything to Lantern's channel ever again, and I never will. But because he did a stream for Lantern on Larry's channel, and then I took it all down, that's his little fucking bullshit loophole. And so Dave's like, yeah, right, Fears. He goes, you took his channel down. He goes, you didn't take any videos of Lantern's down. You haven't told Lantern how to run his fucking channel. And then Dave's like, he goes, it sucks that his sister. I said, well, it doesn't suck. I said, his sister wants the best for Lantern. I said, I respect that. I said, if Lantern needs more sleep and his sister doesn't want him up, till 5 or 6 in the morning, I said, his family's going to want the best for Lantern. So I said, I respect that. But I said, I don't like that the trolls twisted it around and be like, oh, it's Fears' fault that I had nothing to do with his sister changing all that. That's up to Lantern's family. So I didn't like that Larry did that. So that's another bullshit lie. I swore on my dad's grave that I would never tell Lantern how to run his channel, and I swore on my dad's grave that I would never ask Lantern to take down one of his videos. But I took Larry's stuff down because he was being ignorant and insulting all that. So I didn't do anything wrong to or break my promise to my dad. That's just another one of his bullshit lies to make me look horrible. So yeah, there's all that. So I just wanted to clear that up as well. So anyway, that's the stuff I'm going to be working on. So at least it's going to be at least for a couple of weeks. So, but I'll check in periodically. So yeah. So yeah. So probably the next phone live. I don't want to get too much food because I'm going to be gone in a couple of weeks to visit my mom and all that. Probably, I don't know, in a couple days, my mom's like, are you going to buy him a birthday gift here or in Missouri? And I said, what size does he need? My nephew. And I said, if I can go to Walmart and get, or Sam's Club. She goes, yeah, go. She goes, she's going to be, she goes, the way you do baby clothes, because I don't know any of this crap. My mom's helping me out with Shelton's clothes. And since he's my nephew, I'm going to get him some cool clothes. I said, hey, Mom, can I get him a little Hawaiian shirt? I said, I've already got him one. She goes, oh, John, he outgrew the orange Hawaiian shirt. I said, well, I need to get him another one then. And then she's like, well, get him. She goes, babies grow so fast. So she's like, if he's turning 1, get him at least a size bigger. So if he's turning 1, get him something for a 2-year-old so he can wear it for a while. And I said, okay. So I'm going to buy him some clothes here. And then my mom's like, when you get home, we'll go out and we'll buy him a toy. And I said, okay. She goes, then you don't have to have any big bulky items in your suitcase. I was like, that's a great idea, Mom. I said, I already bought him a gift. I said, I got him a Beetlejuice bib at one of my favorite horror stores. And she's like, oh, why'd you get him that? I said, well, I said, my brother's wife loves Halloween and Beetlejuice as much as I do. And then my mom didn't know that. And my mom knew how much I like horror and Halloween, but she didn't know that my brother's wife loves. I said, she'll love this. My mom's like, oh, that's good then. She's like, what is it? I said, it's just a baby bib with Beetlejuice on it. And I said, she'll love it. And then she's like, yeah, so get him some clothes. And I said, okay, great. I said, then I'll just buy him a toy. And I said, I'm not good at rapping. I said, you can rap it and all that. And she's like, yeah, we'll figure it out. So all that stuff I'm going to be working on. And I hope things calm down. I hope things calm down within the next, because my mind is so rattled with all this stuff. And see, I hate to tell anyone anything in that Discord. I told some people I'm so stressed out, I'm about ready to blow my brains out. So then everyone thought, oh God, Veer's going to commit suicide. I'm like, I never said that. I never said that. Never. I would never. That's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I said what I said was, I'm so stressed out. I said, I feel like I'm going to blow my brains out. Not that I would never do that. I would never self-harm myself. Never. Especially not for a prick like Larry. I wouldn't, because I like my life. So that's just ridiculous. Anyway, that's all the stuff. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is, actually, I'm not going to put the last thing in James's book. All this was positive things. I don't want to put anything negative in James's book. The last thing I want to talk about, whenever I get these urges to like defend myself or fight back to the trolls, I just have to learn that you cannot win a troll. I can't win over Larry. I can't win over Fear's Guy blogs. As much as I want that guy to take down that stuff, he probably never will. Like, I challenge him. He's actually a good editor. Who, whether it's a guy, girl, whoever, I challenge him to make a video that's not about me, because whoever it is a great editor. I'm giving credit where credit's due, but I just wish that he would take down all that bullshit. The John Fears exposed. He doesn't own Fears Man, but he puts up his bullshit. I own the official Fears Man cartoon, and it's bullshit. So all that, I wish he would take all that crap down and change his channel name and just make his own content. I would love to see him make a video that has nothing to do with me and show off his editing skills, but he won't do it. He won't do it. Oh, damn. There you are. Huey. That was a good one, Lantern. Record that shit, y'all. Wait. Oh, I thought I had one, Lantern. I thought I had it, but at least you got a good burp, Lantern. That was a big burp right there, y'all. That's right, Fears. I will admit, Yakov does have a really good impression of his Lantern may be better than mine. I do a good Lantern, so does Visions has done it a little bit too. Visions has done it pretty good. Yak, and someone else does Lantern. Zach. Zach has a good Lantern. So yeah. So no. Yeah, record that shit. Oh yeah, goddamn. So yeah. So the last thing I want to talk about is when I was younger, I actually said, oh yeah, like, I'll fucking win the trolls. I'll fucking win them. Fuck them. I'll win them. As I've gotten older, you cannot win a troll. They will fight back. If I fight back at 20%, they'll fight back at 90%. You cannot win a troll. You cannot. So nothing I ever do or say will please Larry. He'll always make fun of me to the day that motherfucker dies. You know, so I'm not expecting Larry to change. I will not unblock him. He's done too much. So every time I get the urge to defend myself or try to win a troll, I just have to remember these things. My friend sent me this, and I was like, I've already read these, but I will read them again. He goes, Fears. And he goes, I've seen it. He goes, when you were younger, he goes, you tried to defeat the trolls. He goes, you're not going to defeat them, man. He goes, they relish in that shit. Like, he goes, they love when you fight back. They love when you, like, get pissed off. He goes, you just need to ignore them. I said, dude, it's harder than you think. He goes, well, I know, Fears. He goes, I know you've seriously tried to ignore them. He goes, they're crafty little bastards. And I said, they are. I said, they are definitely, they know their fucking art form, and they know it well. So I can't believe it, but my friend sent me the same website I found. A while back, I said, I need to learn to do these steps. I changed it, though, because I don't want to defeat them. There's a website that says, tips to defeat a troll. Well, you're not going to defeat a troll, so I switched it to tips to deal with trolls on the internet. And I can't believe it. I wrote my friend back, and I said, hey, man, I said, thanks for sending me the website on how to relax more. And I said, you know what's funny, though? I said, you know the other website that you sent me on how to deal with trolls? And he goes, yeah. I said, I read that to the fans like months ago. He goes, is it the same one? I go, yeah, it's the exact same one. And he said, well, you should read it again. I said, I don't really need to, but I said I will. And he goes, well, Fears, he goes, every time you think about defending yourself, or every time he goes, it's okay to defend yourself, Fears, but he goes, every time you think about trying to defeat the troll or one-up Larry or one-up whoever, he goes, and I don't even know this fucking Larry. And I said, trust me, I said, you don't want to know him. I said, he's fucking nuts. He goes, well, not just Larry. He goes, any troll. Quentin, he goes, that Fears Guy blogs, whoever. He goes, you just have to remember those rules on that website, and I'll read them. And I said, I'll do my very best, man. I said, I said, I don't want any more drama. I said, I don't want any more fucking chaos and shit. So it says, some warning signs that you're dealing with an online troll. Blindness to evidence. Trolls are notorious for ignoring the facts and doubling down on their stance. Once they've decided to troll you, they've decided it, and nothing will stop them. And they will redirect all their passion and energy and topics to you. Name calling. Larry does that. Internet trolls aren't known for their creativity. Some are. My trolls are, but not all of them. He goes, they often latch onto the latest trends and insults. Topic redirects. This is an old school troll tactic that still is around today on chat forums and Discord. He goes, trolls enjoy making off-topic remarks to try and distract you from your own personal shit. He goes, they will do anything to get you to harness their energy. It says condescending tone. They'll ask you, why are you so mad, bro? Trolls love to stroke the fire and then act dismissive. And I like to call that the sweet little angel act. They'll get me pissed off and they'll go, why are you so mad, Fears? Oh, I can't believe you called me an asshole. I would never do that. So they've got that stuff locked and loaded. You know, over exaggerate. Oh God, does Larry over exaggerate to the fucking max? Oh my God, he's a goddamn master. So yeah. So I've already read these, but I've saved this website because I have to remember not to do these, and I've done a lot of these. It says defeat the trolls, 10 techniques. Again, I don't want to defeat anyone, so I've changed this website to dealing with trolls, 10 techniques. It says, number 1, probably the most important one, do not feed the trolls. The classic internet merit still holds up. Trolls thrive on emotional responses to their provocation. It can be difficult to restrain yourself. Yes, it is. This is probably the one I need to work on the most. Because it's difficult to restrain yourself, but don't add fuel to the fire. Again, if you put gasoline on a fire, it will never go out. If you don't engage, the troll will hopefully move on. Yeah, the key word is hopefully move on. When it comes to Larry, I don't think he'll ever move on, but most trolls would. But, yeah. It says, now number 2, I'm pretty good at. Number 1, I definitely need to work on. It says, number 2, be the boss, no trolls allowed. They said, if you're in charge of your platform, whether it's your social media profile, discussion, forum, blog, podcast, you need a clear list of guidelines and regulations that also includes no trolling. They said, try to make your list of rules as condensed as possible. It says, implementing these rules establishes that you're the boss and that you don't put up with anyone's crap. It says, if someone is angry at their comment was deleted, you can point out to your policy and cite a violation of the cause of the removal and move on. And I've done that. The only time I time someone out or block someone is if they go too far. You know? So I'm pretty good at number 2. And again, I don't want to... My fans have told me, nothing against Carrie. It's insane to have 27 rules, but Carrie's got a lot more problems than me. So I get why she has so many rules. She takes so many medications. She's had all this crazy crap to her. I get it. Richie, on the other hand, he doesn't need... Hell, I think Richie's got more fucking rules than Carrie. Carrie's got, I think she told me, 27, 28. Richie's got, like, I don't know, 30, 40. Like, Vision said, like, he doesn't like the color blue, and he doesn't like the color purple, and you can't... I'm like, what the fuck? And he can't say... You can't say certain curse words in the chat, and he charges like money to comment. I'm like, fuck all that shit. I only have 2 rules, so I'm pretty good at number 2. So yeah. So number one, I need to work on. Don't feed the trolls. Like, ignore them as much as possible. It still holds merit. It's difficult to restrain yourself. It is. Don't add fuel to the fire. If you don't engage, hoping the troll will just move on. I need to work on that, clearly. Number two, be your own boss. No trolls allowed. Set up your rules. Well, I've only got two. I'm pretty good at number two. Number three, add moderators to your roster. Dave's a pretty good moderator. I only need one so far because I don't get much when I actually do a live. It's all the other crap and in all the other live streams and all the other chat where people give me the most shit. So I'm pretty good at number three. I moderate my own shit, and really I don't get a lot of bad comments on videos. It's more if someone's every once in a while I'll get the occasional stupid idiot troll coming in my lives, saying all the bullshit. So number three I actually do pretty good at as well. Number four, if you can't ignore the trolls, call them on their bullshit. Trolls aren't interested in having civilized, rational conversations. Their arguments aren't logical, and they're certainly not strong debaters. Again, I beg to differ. Some are in this fucking community. They're like, they are fucking masters of their goddamn craft. So it says, stay calm and simply ask for facts and sources to back up. So, I mean, I wouldn't even try to do this one because I'm just so sick of people's bullshit. It says, chances are they won't have any. They'll sputter into silence. All they really want was a heated, passionate debate, and you denied them that. So, but I wouldn't even call them on their bullshit. I mean, I've tried that before, and it's ended miserably, horribly. Number five, I should do this, but I won't because I don't want to give a troll any kindness. It says, number five, kill them with kindness. It's hard to respond to hate with kindness, but since trolls are usually looking for a good fight, reacting with the opposite approach often stops them in their tracks. I don't know. Sometimes these trolls these days, they're fucking crafty bastards. It says, rather than reciprocate by anger, by becoming on the defense, the user responds with kindness and even complimenting the troll. And usually it'll have the opposite effect. Again, I hate trolls. I despise trolls. I don't know if I could ever give them kindness because they gave me so much hate. So I would probably skip number five and just stick with number one, like try to ignore them as much as possible. Now, Zach would do this because Zach's more forgiving, but I will sure try my damnedest. I'll try my best. Let's see. That was number five. Number six. Disarm them with humor. I've tried this before. Sometimes it's worked. Other times not so much. So number six I do okay with. Number seven I have locked and loaded. It says number seven, have friends all around you, even on social media. The solution is pretty cut and dry. If you don't have random trolls commenting on your posts, keep them private. Obviously, this won't work if you're in a business or influencer, but surround yourself with positive people, friends, family. This will help dealing with trolls. Well, that's a given. That is a given. I'm glad it's on the list. Number seven, I do pretty good. I have a lot of loving and loyal fans and loving and loyal friends and church fam. So all that is locked and loaded. So number eight, I do pretty good too. Block, ban, and report trolls. Oh yeah, yours is the master at that. Clear and simple. It says, while this option is more tedious, it's sometimes necessary if you have to do that to a troll. Make sure you back everything up, you follow the rules, and block when you have to, time people out when you have to, ban when you have to, and report trolls and their abusive behavior as much as possible. So I do that. I absolutely do that. Number nine, I need to work on. Decompress before you reply. Remember, a troll's goal is to make you and other people is as upset as possible. Do not let them achieve their goal. Well, unfortunately, I've got them to achieve their goal many times. But it says before you type or respond or mention something in a video or in a podcast, take a deep breath. Or if you need to walk away for a few minutes, remind yourself uh, it's not worth getting upset about. Yeah. Uh, and so 9, I definitely need work on. Number 10, I would say number 10. I'm 50-50. It says stay professional at all times. I sometimes I've stayed professional. Trust me, sometimes I've been pissed off and I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm taking this fucker down. So sometimes I have been professional. Sometimes I think in this live I've been very professional and I've said half the things I had planned and the other half I just said on the fly. But I think I've been very professional today. It says number 10, stay professional. One of the worst errors that you can absolutely make is confusing a unhappy fan or someone on your social medias. Remember, trolls are the enemies. You're the one that wants to be the hero. Stay calm, be factual, always be polite and professional to your audience or your business or whatever you're trying to achieve. It says if someone is nitpicking your typo or a minor mistake, thank them for pointing it out, fix the error, but don't engage any further. And then it says, an eye for an eye is never good, which it isn't. But oh man, there's been some times where I've pulled a fast one on Larry, and oh goddamn, does it feel well. But again, is it professional? No. But yeah. So number 10, I definitely need work on. I would say I'm 50 on number 10. I'm 50-50. Sometimes I'm completely professional. There's been many times where we've had great streams where we're just working on my topics and someone said something and I've just timed them out or I've deleted the comment, or sometimes I haven't done any of it and I've ignored the comment and just kept going on with the show and everything's been hunky-dory, So yeah. Let's see what else. I'm coming to the end. So it says hopefully these 10 tips have helped you. And it says if you ever forget them, we're always here. It says trolls are only as big as you make them. I don't know. They're pretty. Even before I joined that Rasmus Rants community, they've always been pretty big. They said in the end, trolls are as big as you make them. Internet trolls thrive on drama. They love drama. This is where I got that quote from. Trolls love drama. They worship drama. They thrive on drama. They cherish drama. If you stoop to their level, they're winning. It's not about right or wrong. It's not about winning or losing. It's if you stop engaging the trolls, you're taking their oxygen away from the fire. It's best to just take the high road and leave the trolls far below. It is. It's just very hard when because they always take it over the edge, like making fun of someone's family or their job, or making a disgusting video of Lantern fucking my mom or me fucking my mom. That's taking it too much. Calling somebody for 6.5 months, harassing somebody on the phone, like harassing someone at Barnes and Noble. That's taking it way too far. But that's just how Larry is, and that's how he always will be. So. Anyway, I definitely will save that website and I will continue to follow those rules as best I can. I need to take some more Mucinex. My fucking nose is just so congested. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Anyway, so yeah, I'll before I leave, I'm going to try to give you guys a timestamp of when I'll be back. I'll definitely do, let's see. If I feel like doing a live, it'll be more on my phone. I'm not going to do any lives like a professional one, like my normal show. But I'll check in from time to time. Hopefully, I'll be back maybe sometime after St. Patrick's Day. We'll see, because that'll be 2 full weeks. Like my last break, I think was 11, 12 days, and people were going through the roof. People were missing me so much. They're like, "Where the fuck is Fears?" And I was like, "I've only been gone for 11 days." And you guys were like, "We need Fears. Where the fuck is he? Oh my God, where the hell's Fears?" I was like, "It's been 11 days. Like, I'm not dead. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just working on my own personal shit." Anyway, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. If you guys haven't seen Fears Man Saves D Man from the tree, I basically had a dog come out of nowhere, like trying to bite at D Man, and I said, hey, back off. And then I grabbed the squirrel, put it in the tree, and I'm like, "There you go, little friend." I'm like, "Oh, here's some corn." And then I had Fears Man fly through the air, and the St. Louis Arch was in the background. And I'm like, "Yo, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Fears Vlogs." So, but I think the best version of that, the way the AI made the Fears Man costume in the Fears Man Says Subscribe, it was all right. The best version of the AI was these 2 videos. Was Fears Man Saves D-Man, and I'll play it. Oh, hang on.
Partner of mine. No, back off.
There you go, little friend.
There you go, little friend. And here's some corn for you.
They got my hair pretty good too.
No, back off.
The only thing,
Thanks, mister.
The only thing that they fucked up on is they added some red to Fears Man's costume, because in that AI drawing, or it's a drawing that Randall made, Fears Man's like this, and it only goes to his knees. So they put some red in his cape, and they made his boots red. But I was like, oh well. I'm like, the video still came out pretty good, and then the Halloween one came out great, but my favorite version of the AI costume is when I took down the evil, not Larry, I took down the evil Barry. So there's no way that he can strike that video, because it's not Larry, it's the evil Barry. So if you change the name, I know my rights on YouTube, so there's not a goddamn thing you can do about it, Barry. Me punching the absolute shit and slaughtering his life and throwing him on the ground that felt pretty good. That costume came out fantastic. That was pretty good. I hit him not once, not twice, but 3 times in the face, and that felt pretty damn good. We should watch that one real quick before I end the live. That felt amazing. And that costume came out pretty good, my friends. And then the other one that came out really well was the dark version of Fears Man's glowing eyes, and I put the Halloween 3 song behind it, because I've always loved that music. They even used Halloween 3 music in the trailer for Maximum Overdrive, so that one's good. I loved it. The dark version of Fears Man. And like, his face is under the hood, and when it gets about 2 inches from the camera, I wanted him to smile, but the AI did not make him smile. His eyes just go like this, open up wide, and you can see only the pupil, and it's just like glowing, like he's about to shoot his laser eyes like Superman does, and it came out fucking great. It was awesome. And it looked so badass. I was just like, oh man, that one came out good. So that one came out good. And yeah, you need it. So watch that one, and then watch me taking down the horrible Barry. That one came out great. That one I got a little giggle out of. So yeah, that one was fantastic. And then someone even commented on it. Let me find it real quick. someone said, well, now that you've defeated him, you need to save a kitty cat from a tree. And I thought, oh, well, I'll do one better. I'll save D-Man, and I'll put him in a tree and feed him some corn. So let me find the actual comment, and I'll read, because it came out great. It came out fantastic. Let's see here. Fears Man takes down the evil Barry. That's my favorite version of the costume. I think I uploaded a picture of one of Randall's drawings, and then AI makes it look real, and they got my hair like literally like this, like perfectly combed over, about as short as this. Fears Man looks fucking rocking. The only thing that Randall forgot in this drawing, he forgot to put the mask around his eyes, but I was like, I don't care. It looks that fucking great. It looks amazing. And Barry is standing there, and Fierce Man's like, like one to the shoulder, one to the neck, and one right to the fucking face. You're done. You're done. You're gone. Great. All right, here we go. And I love how they had him swoop up. He takes down the evil Barry, up and away, and he flies out of there, and he's off for another adventure. And his costume looks fucking fantastic in that, and so that's one of the best versions of Fears Man's costume that I've ever seen. Except they just forgot to put his mask around his eyes. But yeah, so. But yeah, that's all the stuff I'm going to be working on. I just wanted to tell you guys. Anyway, the official sub count. One more time. Bam! Right in his face. Right in his fucking face. Great. I loved every waking moment of it. So, the official sub count. Growing subs every single day. Pretty awesome. Exciting times. Just through all this bullshit. 3,026 on the main channel, and 1,989. So I've gained some subs within the last couple of hours. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. So hard work's paying off, even though I haven't edited a video in a while, but all the shorts are doing good. Anyway, so I really hope this talk helped. I really hope it didn't. I really hope it didn't make things worse. So everything I've said was the honest to God truth. Again, you guys can believe me. You don't have to believe me. I'm telling you guys the honest to God truth. That's where I'm coming from. I definitely got some work to do on myself. I don't want to fight with anyone else in the community. And I'll be honest, half the community is great. The other half of the community is just mindless idiot trolls. I don't really care about the community. I care about my loving and loyal fans, and I care about my content, and I care about my friends in real life. But if that makes any sense. Like, I care about all my loving and loyal fans, and I care about my content, and I care about my channels, but I don't really care about all the community drama bullshit. He said, she said, all that bullshit. Like, if the community died tomorrow, I wouldn't care. I care about my channels, I care about my loving and loyal fans, and I care about my real friends in real life, and my church family, and my family, and all that stuff. Because that's all what is really important. All the troll bullshit and all that other crap, it's not worth it. It's so much bullshit to fucking handle. Oh, thank you for the 4 likes. Before I go, I really appreciate the 4 likes. So I'm glad that 4 people liked this. And again, I did this to just get things off my chest. I did it to make things better. To have you guys fully understand where I'm coming from, why I've been so stressed out, why I've been so pissed off. I didn't do it to cause any more drama. I didn't do it to cause any more friction. I thought I was completely professional. Well, all the way up until the little, Barry thing. But besides that, but you guys knew that was coming. But everything else, I was pretty professional on. So I'm gonna try and do all that stuff off that on both of those websites. I'm gonna try and do all the best ways to relax and de-stress, and then whenever I get the itch to, again, my friend said it's okay to defend yourself, fears, but just do it in a professional manner, or as professional as you can. He goes, and remember that website when you're dealing with trolls. And I told my friend, I said, I wish that website wouldn't say to defeat a troll. I said, because if you try to defeat a troll, that's impossible. And he goes, yeah, he goes, but those techniques will work. He goes, just think of it as dealing with trolls. And I said, fine. I said, because you're not going to defeat them. I said, if you try to defeat them, I said, I've tried that and I've lost miserably. And he's like, well, then change it, fears. Like, say, dealing with trolls. He goes, I just threw you the website. I said, no, I got you. So, yeah. So I've got a lot of work to do because I'm already wide awake. I'm going to try and finish a video today, and hopefully I'll have it up later. If I do a live later, it'll probably be at the gym. I need to get on the treadmill because I was doing really good on eating healthy. Like, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I knew I wasn't going into work. I literally drove to Racetrack. It's a gas. I don't know if you guys have those, but it's a race. You guys have seen the vlogs. And before they throw out the pizza, I said, hey, do you guys have a whole pizza? I haven't had dinner yet. And I ate a whole pizza last night. So I was doing really good because you guys know I'm a terrible liar. I was depressed, and whenever I'm depressed, I depression eat. I'm not kidding. That's just, it is what it is. And it felt good going on the way down, but I was like, well, that's just more bullshit that I have to work off. So I love hamburgers and I love pizza. They're my weakness. So, but I should have just stayed here and watched a movie and went to sleep. But one, I was hungry, and two, I was just like, yeah, I'm depressed. I'm like, I'm going to go fucking eat something. I should have just made some soup or a salad or... So whenever I go grocery shopping, I'm gonna get back on the old healthy stuff. So yeah. So if I do a live stream, it'll be on my phone, going for a walk or working out or something. But as soon as I get done with this, I'm gonna take a hot shower because that sounds good, and then I'm wide awake, so I'm gonna put some more wash in the laundry, and then I'm going to get back to work on editing because I want to get some type of video out today. Like the guy on Bloodline Media, I felt horrible. He wrote me a couple days ago. He's like, Fears. He goes, we did that interview for you like last year at, he goes, where is it, man? He goes, I gave you permission to upload that. I said, dude, I said, I'm so far behind on everything. I said, I really am sorry. And then he was like, did you not like it? I said, no. I said, I loved it. I said, I absolutely loved it. I said, dude, I've been going through so much shit. I said, I don't want to bore you with all the details. I said, I promise. So I'm either going to film the intro and the outro because he said you can use the whole interview, Fierce, just film an intro saying, hey, Bloodline Media gave me permission, and do an outro sitting in front of all your movie props or whatever the hell you want to do. I said, yeah, I'll think of something. So I'm either going to film that or I'm going to get to work on the last vlog I was editing because I got to get some type of video out today because now that I have all this time and I'm not going to stream for a couple of weeks, there's no excuse to not get some video content out. So if you guys don't see any new content, that's just me being lazy. But I'm going to try to get some more content out. So yeah. And I may change my my backdrops on my Fears Vlogs and Fears Man. I haven't had any new artwork on there in a while, so I've had the tomatoes up, on Fears Vlogs for a while because I loved that background that someone made for me. And the Fears Man one was awesome because I had Fears Man like in a battle with all the blood on his face, and and all that. So I don't know if I'll change the profile pictures, but I may change the actual channel art. So I don't know. Well, as I like the profile picture to match the channel art. So that's one of my favorite pictures of Fears, man. They got my hair just right, and they had instead of yellow glowing eyes, AI made it with red eyes. So, but it's like Fears man's in a battle and there's blood dripping off his face, and I liked it. I was like, oh man, I said that would make a cool like thumbnail for the main channel, and I said I'll use that as my profile pic and all that shit. I said that'll be good. So I may work on that, and then like I said, oh shit, I just got some more subs. Holy shit. Wow. I'm telling you, those shorts are rocking. I'm not kidding. Let me go to my YouTube studio. Holy shit. 3,029. Oh my god. This is fantastic. And then on the vlog channel, let's see here. Did I get any new subs on the vlog channel? No, nothing on the vlog channel. Damn. That's insane. All right. Well, I'm going to let you guys go. I appreciate you guys watching. Because I have the comments turned off, I don't know if people liked this. I don't know if people got anything out of it. I just didn't want to deal with anyone today. I just thought I'm just going to say what I want to say, and I hope it doesn't cause more drama, and I just need to get all this stuff off my chest. It feels good to decompress and talk about all this stuff and have people know where I'm coming from. So yeah, I hope things get better in the community, and I hope things get better with me, and yeah, because it's been a lot. So I think some people liked it because I got 5 likes, so I appreciate all the 5 likes. That's very nice of everybody. So I just hope it doesn't cause more tension. I hope it doesn't cause more drama, more bullshit, and more hassle for me, and more hassle for the community, and more chaos and all that crazy shit. So yeah, so I'll do my best to work on the stuff I said I'm going to work on, and because I'm always trying to better myself, and I always, whether the trolls or people in the community want to believe I'm telling the truth, I always strive to be the best version of John Fears I possibly can, and I always strive to be the best version of myself, and the best content creator, and the best projects, and the best me. And I definitely want the happy-go-lucky Fears to come back. I just hope there's not 27 or 30 rehashing streams and 55. Oh, I need to get the last fucking word, and oh, we need to have 28 Larry streams and all this other bullshit. So yeah. So I took a chance doing this stream, but I was like, I've got to say what I want to say, and I said, Fears, just be as professional as possible. I think I was pretty professional. I wasn't screaming. I wasn't saying like, hey, fuck you and fuck this and fuck that. And, you know, I wasn't saying all that shit. I just said, hey, I've got a couple of things planned that I want to talk about. I didn't really bash anyone that bad. I mean, I told the truth about Larry. He's nuts. But I didn't bash Yakov. I just said, this is the stuff I don't like about Yakov. I wish he would change this stuff. I didn't bash Zach. I said, hey, I can't wait to get back to us being buddies. We're always buddies. I just don't want me and Zach to keep butting heads and getting mad and getting frustrated at each other and all that. So I'm glad he's going to call me today. That's fantastic. I can't wait for his call. So yeah. So because I thought I was gonna have to wait weeks. I was like, oh, I'll just give him a week or two, and then I'll call him if I don't hear back from him. So that's great. So yeah. Anyway, I guess I'll see you guys in a couple weeks, for a proper stream. Again, if I do a little stream to say hi, it'll be on my phone. If I'm working out or going to the grocery store, but I'm not doing a proper, like, in my nerd cave stream for quite a while. So I appreciate everybody. I didn't lose that many fans. I had anywhere from 12 to 15 people watching this whole thing, and I went for almost 3 hours. I went for 3 hours and 39 minutes. I tried to get everything in that I wanted to say as quickly as possible and as professional as possible, and I think I did that. If some people think I didn't, then I'm sorry. I think I did. So anyway, I'm gonna take off, but I'll let you know whenever I come back. You guys will see a proper live stream, and I'll have topics and the whole 9 yards. If you see a mini one, it's just me checking in, saying hi, and all that. So yeah, hopefully some more vlogs. Excuse me. More vlogs coming. Definitely more shorts coming. More Fears Man shorts, and hopefully Happy Go Lucky Fears comes back. And I want him to stay. I love Happy Go Lucky Fears. You guys love Happy Go Lucky Fears. We got to get him to come back because that's the best version of Fears. So anyway, all right. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my friend Randall. Real quick, before I go, I almost forgot to give you guys the update of Randall. All right, so I talked to Randall last night. Thank God I remembered. So I talked to Randall last night, and I said, "Hey, Randall," I said, "What's been going on?" I said, "How you been?" He goes, "Oh, we're doing good, surviving." I said, "Hey, what have you been up to?" And he goes, "Oh man," he goes, "My mom's boyfriend and me, we've just been salvaging as much stuff as possible out of our burnt house, and we've been moving it over to my mom's boyfriend's house." I said, "Oh, what?" I said, "How?" He goes, "Oh, we've just been taking his truck and just back and forth, back and forth." I said, "Okay, right on." And I said, "So what's going to happen with your house?" And he goes, "Well, at first we thought we were going to keep it, but after the fire marshal saw it, he goes, there's just so much damage that his mom lived in a trailer park gated community that was for the elderly. So I guess they decided there was so much damage, they're giving the trailer back to the community because they didn't own that house. They didn't own that trailer. They rented it. His mom rented that. And so I said, "So do you guys have to fix it?" And Randall didn't give me all the details, but he said, "We're gonna not have it fixed. We're gonna go live somewhere else." So I guess whoever lives in that, I guess the community or the whoever owns the community, I guess, is gonna have to fix it. Again, I don't know all the details. That's what Randy said. So I said, "Oh, well, where are you going to live?" He goes, "Right now, we're just going to live at my mom's boyfriend's house, and then we're going to figure it out." And I said, "Can you do me a favor, Randy?" I said, "Can you make some type of update video?" I said, because I said, "Larry's been giving me so much shit. Oh, you're a terrible friend. You should have donated." He goes, "Well, Fears, the reason why you haven't donated is because me, Zach, and Dave offered to go down there and to help Randy out, help him move." And he said, "Fears, tell the fans I appreciate that Fears and Zach and Dave offered. I want to help out my mom. I want to do all this myself." And he said, "I definitely want you to donate some money." He goes, "I want the fans to donate some money." He goes, "Fears, I've just been so busy helping my mom." I said, "Randall, I understand that, but I said, can you tell the fans?" I said, "Because Larry thinks I'm a horrible friend." I said, I said, "Trust me, man." I said, "I've already told the fans I'm going to donate at least $200, 100 for you, 100 for your mom." I said, "Maybe even 300. I said, "I will donate." And he goes, "Fears, I'll make some type of video and give them an update." He goes, "I'm just not ready to do that live stream where people can donate." He goes, "Because I've been so busy visiting, helping my mom." I said, "I'll tell them, Randall." I said, "I don't know if they'll believe me." I said, "But I will tell them." So Randall said, "Tell them Fears offered to help, and he offered to donate some money." He goes, "And I'm going to." He's like, "Just whenever I'm ready." And I said, "Randall, I told them that." I said, "Larry just doesn't believe a word I said." I said, "I don't give a shit if Larry doesn't believe me." I said, "He's a prick." I said, "I want the fans to believe me." I said, "Because I want to help you. I want to be a good friend." I said, "Randall," I said, "if this place burnt down," I said, "you and your mom would be over here in a hot minute." So I said, "I'm going to tell the fans, me, Dave, and Zach offered to help." And he goes, "You can tell them that, Fears." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, I hope they fucking believe me." I said, "Because the minute Randall tells me to come down and visit him, I'm going to give him the money." And he goes, Fears, if you want to donate $250, that would be more than generous. And I said, Randall, I said, I'll give you more if you want. So, yeah. So, basically the update is that he said that they're doing good. They're not going to have the trailer fixed. They're going to figure out somewhere else to live. But Randall's boyfriend said that they can stay there at Randall's mom's boyfriend, excuse me. He said, you guys can stay here as long as you want. And Randall said, we're going to stay there for a while. And so they're getting all their stuff out, all of their stuff out of the trailer. They've just been making trips back and forth. And when they get everything out of the trailer, I guess Randall's mom and Randall's mom's boyfriend, they're going to find them a new place to live. I don't know where. It'll be somewhere in the area, but they're going to find them somewhere else to live. And I said, well, can you make a video as an update? And he goes, yeah, when I get some time, I'll do an update video. So that's where Randall's been. So, yeah. So that's the update. I didn't get much of an update, but that's an update. So, yeah. Anyway. God bless. I'll see you guys later. Thank God I remembered to update you guys about Randall. Thank you so much for the 5 likes. And to all my loving and loyal fans, I love you guys. And I always appreciate, I never take my loving and loyal fans for granted. I appreciate all the donations that you guys have ever given me. I don't take you guys for granted. I don't take the donations for granted. I appreciate all the fan mail that any fan has sent me. I haven't gotten any in a while, but whenever you guys do want to send me fan mail, keep sending that fan mail. I haven't gotten a letter from a fan in quite. I would love to get some artwork of Fears Man so I can hang it on the wall. I would love to get a fan letter, just something. You know, I would love to get like something a week, and I wish it could be a weekly thing that I could read some fan letters and answer some questions. And it doesn't always have to be a Blu-ray or an unboxing or something. I whatever you guys get me, I always appreciate. You guys are awesome. So I love my loving and loyal fans. I always have and I always will. So yeah. So as always, if you want to send Fears some fan mail, send it to Fears Vlogs or FearsMan26 or John Fears 16745 Kagan's Crossings Boulevard, STE 102B PMB 40, Claremont, Florida 34714. All right, I'm taking off. Now, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my friend Randall at Cameo Man 2021, his second channel, The Mayor of Magic. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my friend Zach, the Incredible Impression, on YouTube. He does Lincoln. He does the Tasmanian Devil. He does a good Bugs Bunny. I love that fucking impression of Bugs Bunny. I think you guys have seen that one. That one's good. He needs to do, I see you have an eye for things, stranger. Gun's just not about shooting. It's about reloading. You know what I'm talking about. He needs to master that one. Fears is pretty good at that one. Or Beavis. I'd love to see Zach's impression of Beavis and Butthead. Whoa. Yeah. Dude. Oh, yeah. Cool, man. Cool. PB for bunghole. Bunghole. There it is. That's mine. It needs work. Or I'd love to see Zach do Steve. Oh yeah, dude, like totally rad, man. Yeah. Let's jump off this cliff, man. Yeah, dude. All right. Yeah, man. Let's bong it up, dude. Anyway, follow good old Papa Bear, Strong Bear at 19. We got to get him to 500 subs. Be sure to subscribe to Mama Bear 06. We got to get her to 100 subs. Subscribe to Tommy NC 2010. Subscribe to the Sega Camp Gamer and Wear Camp. Follow Sega Camp Gamer 22 on Twitch. Follow D-Man. He has been, oh my God, he has been killing it with the AI videos. He's been killing it with the squirrel videos. And he's been killing it with those garden videos. Oh yeah. So subscribe to D-Man. Subscribe to, let's see, who haven't I given a plug in a while? Subscribe to The Carrie Show. Subscribe to Dave, more da bomb challenges. You already accomplished it, but now we gotta up the ante. We need to make you like a hot sauce cocktail, Dave. We need to get you like a little, that wine glass that James Bond drinks, like vodka martinis, shaken but not stirred. We need to set it down. We need to like a little da bomb sauce, a little last dab, a little classic hot sauce, a little of this, a little of that, and just have like a full on like martini with olives, but like instead of vodka in it, like put 2 martinis in it with a shitload of hot sauce and be like, yeah, bottoms up, motherfucker. And just drink the whole fucking thing. So, Dave, more hot sauce challenges, my friends. The fans love it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to... Who else? Who else? I think that's everybody. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Chicken Wizard. Where are you? We want you back. I miss you, Chicken Wizard. I love you, buddy. Like, comment, and subscribe to Boo Khaki on YouTube. Subscribe to Visions, Lord Visions, Lord God of the goths, the goth master. Just as goth, if not more goth. Well, just as goth as Gothic King Cobra. Hell yeah. Subscribe to exhumvisions.com. Buy some cool shit. Why? Because he definitely makes some cool shit. Pretty awesome shit. I need to buy some more epic shirts. And last, but certainly not least, follow the host with the most, FearsMan26 on TikTok. We're almost at 9,000. FearsMan26, the main channel. We've surpassed 3,000. Let's get to 4,000 ASAP. Let me beat Richie and get over 5,000 because he's been trying to get to 5,000 forever. I doubt he'll ever get it. We'll see. Maybe. I would love to beat him and get over 5,000. That'd be fucking epic. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my second channel, Fears Vlogs, the channel that you're watching right now. And I love my loving and loyal fans. We'll get through all this crazy bullshit. I hope it mellows, and I want eternal peace. No more fucking pizzas, and no more Larry, and no more bullshit, and I want everything calm and cozy, and people leave me the fuck alone, and everything copacetic. I hope so. Alright. Fears loves you guys. Fears cares about you guys. And this is Fears, signing off. Peace, deuces, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Please cut me some slack. Leave me alone. Just please, no more bullshit. Please, oh God, I'm begging you. Please, just no more bullshit. Let Fears make my videos in peace. Please, let me do my lives in peace. Please, let me make my shorts in peace. Please, let me just be a nerd and let me buy my movie props and let me edit in peace. Please, I beg of you. Cut Fears some slack. Give me 10 months off from trolling, I beg of you. Please. I was kind of joking, but kind of serious. All right. This is Fears, signing off. Peace, deuces, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.